project was to design box art for a company selling pre-packaged spices for different meals.
Hello there.
And
Hello.
yeah, hello everyone. We were just discussing my failed attempts at education.
But now he knows how to do probability.
Well, that is something at least.
Yeah, Alex
I
did
gave him a
teach me on the
lecture.
side because, yeah, my schools did not manage to hammer that lesson home. Probability did not click for me.
Understandable.
And have enough math education that I can tutor like higher end mathematics. Algebra stuff is fun.
If I have to take math, will you help me, Alex?
Maybe. It depends on how frustrating you are to teach. I am more than happy to explain stuff. If I have to explain the same thing over and over and over again, you're on your own.
Usually the answer is no. Or if I get annoyed enough at math, I'll just cheat. I can't stand math. I can't.
It also
stand
depends on the math.
Yep.
I won't do pre-calc. I like trig and calc. I won't do pre-calc.
Chemistry math?
Haha. I only saw chemistry in college, and I only took concepts.
Hey, that's fine. I
can
probably
do the math
don't-
on it.
Yeah, maybe. I doubt I'll actually have to take chemistry anytime soon. It's just if I have to. I don't think I have to take any more math, but if somehow I do, I want to get
Any core math classes or even physics, I can probably help. Chemistry is a little
Alright, noted.
But I do have my book on that, and I can brush up on it. I just don't like chem.
Yeah, me neither.
You want to go into nursing?
That doesn't mean I have to like chemistry.
How do you think bodies work?
I know how the fucking body works, you asshole. That doesn't mean I like the math behind chemistry.
I mean, it's the same
It's
thing, really.
algebra!
So? I'm fucking stupid with math!
Please.
Silence!
I'm with
Chemistry
you there.
is-
Math
chemistry
can
is
go take a
easy.
jump.
Yeah, it's
I
not
did
bad.
like chemistry, mainly because my teachers were always very hands-on and practical, and we blew a lot of stuff up.
Yeah, that'll help, for sure.
It is.
He was
Easy.
the kid that was making explosives in high school.
My high
high
school
school.
my chemistry teacher in South Africa wanted to show us what happened when potassium hits water, and they were just like, "All right, I should cut this up, but fuck it," and they tossed the whole thing into a big earthenware bowl, and it fizzed up for a few seconds, and then with a massive bang threw molten globs of potassium oxide everywhere and cracked the basin in half.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
It was a good day at school. I was very entertained. But yeah, welcome everyone to the liberation of St. Cardias Rest. When we last left off, Aggletrom had been transferred out of the 999th to join a Squat and Ogren platoon as they hunted down the Habho. And he had been replaced by a Mr. Atlas. What was the surname again? Ingrace.
How do you spell that? Because I just completely forgot to write down anything about your character in my notes because I took no notes last week.
I remember a few things.
Okay, so you need me to spell the name?
Yeah.
I put it in chat.
In grace.
Okay.
Yeah, in grace is how it is said.
Yeah. Which had momentarily interrupted Flux's interrogation of their captive.
Question mark?
Probably captive.
No. They voluntarily came. They're a guest.
I mean,
Detainee.
Yeah, lightly. I mean, I suppose we'll be able to leave at some point.
I feel kind of weird coming in on the
Right.
middle of this because it's like,
We'll get you up to speed.
yeah, there's like no introduction to be done right now because everyone's busy.
Yep.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We return to the group gathered around the ground car with the newest recruit.
If we're being honest, regardless of what we call this person, their ass is grass.
Yeah. Also, I'm definitely not there. I think Nualia and I are still in the warehouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're both still in the warehouse. I'm watching the
then-
door. You are cleaning up the place.
Yep.
Yeah, but given
Open a
you've been
bucket.
moving in and out of the garage, I'm assuming one of the bay doors is at least partially open.
Yes, it would have been.
All right. So I'm watching this shit go down. Then I'm just relaying it back to Nualia. Also, who is this
Well,
here?
even Nualia could probably see. That's Lanewald. Not Lanewald.
I think.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Lanewald. Yeah.
Yeah, she'd been
Oh right, yeah.
called over.
I forget she has short cropped hair.
I
Huh.
forget why we called Lanewald over.
She
I know it was
gonna
something to do with
replace
the
you
rhinos.
at the door. Well, she was going to replace Agrotrom at the door, but then Flux ordered you to.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I need Lanewald to be the big scary and get the rest of the squad out of the way.
Well, most of the squad are. There's only 4 posted around the building as sentries, like you ordered.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just paranoid and expecting people to just be
What?
like, what's
No
going
way.
on?
That's good.
I like how Alice is kind
Paranoid
of
is,
over here and he has no idea what's going on.
Hey, paranoia saves lives in military situations. So
Yeah, one of the first things Flux is gonna do is look back at Ribbon. Do you mind coming over here for a minute?
sure, yeah. What's up?
I would like to introduce you to our chaplain. This is Atlas Ingress. Was hoping you could take them around, get him situated with the squad, assess abilities and such.
Sure. Yeah, I can do that. I wasn't aware we needed a chaplain.
Well, the powers that be seem to like us.
All right. Great.
And Flux is just gonna have a really sarcastic smile.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Ingress, you're with me.
Alice kind of looks at the exchange, waits for it to be over, and then looks at Riven particularly. Does a bow, holding the stick up, and I'll say, "It is good to meet you. Glory to the Omnisire."
I think Riven cocks an eyebrow and just sort of like gestures. All right, come on. We gotta go meet the squad.
It's a
Thoroughly
pleasure.
unimpressed.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Uh,
Glory to the Omnisire. Yeah, okay, fucker, let's go.
I
Absolutely.
mean, if anything, that's the response he expects.
Okay, well then, yeah. All right.
Oh, this is a weird thing I do because I think Riven would be the only one to notice. Could you roll tech for me, Riven?
Sure.
Oh
can do.
no. Wait, why would Riven be the only one that would notice?
I'm very
Because Riven's the Riven's the most tech inclined. I made that presumption thinking that Flux would care about bombs the most, whereas Riven is more generally focused.
This is very weird being asked for a role from another player, but it's completely. But you know what?
I now
I'll
need to
allow it.
know, how many dice do you have in tech?
7.
I
rolled like
have 8,
shit.
fucker.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, well, my mistake.
Screw you!
Yeah,
My mistake. You want to roll too?
I think like
Now I
okay,
don't know if I want to.
I don't know, I
Maybe
think
I don't
Mason-
care.
I think
I'll
Mason
open
brings
the
up a fair
invitation.
point. Is like, yes, you have a lot of tech, but a lot of your own personal focus is on how can I make this blow up.
I opened the invitation to Flux as
Wait.
a result of the
Hold on a
situation.
second. Also, what the hell DN? How do we set a DN for another player?
I made it up in my head in the first place. You passed for
Great.
starters.
Good.
You needed 2.
Great. Excellent.
Yeah, and the complication doesn't mean anything because it's just, do you notice the telltale signs of something? Okay, yeah. The both of you would notice.
First off, fuck you.
Yes.
Yeah, you
Thank
definitely
you.
have way more in tech than I do. I know I have more pilot, but
Anyway, the staff he holds at the very top, there's basically 4 pieces that have very slight lines, which indicate they might fold in or retract and bring something out.
Ooh.
It's more than a big walking stick.
okay. All
It's
right,
basically-
Ingress, walk with
I
me.
see.
Yep. And
Uh,
he'll walk.
Hey Flux, where do you want everyone, especially given, you know, and she kind of gestures back into the garage.
Do your best to integrate him into the group dynamic, get him settled in. We'll have you in Squad 1, Alice.
Okay.
All right. All right. Let's see. Where the hell are we gonna go? All right, there's Toroxus down south. That's fine. All right. She kind of makes a gesture and says, "All right, we're heading down south to go meet up by the Toroxes."
He nods.
She goes over the comms. All right, Squad 1, form up by the Toroxes. We got a new recruit. Actually, no. Anyone who's available, form up, but specifically also Squad 1.
All right. Yeah.
On
also,
the walk.
Also, this is Riven, if you weren't aware.
I think most of Squad 1 have gotten your voice down by now.
Yeah, probably.
And the others probably don't question it since it's coming over the squad box.
Yeah, I'm not about to start shrieking at people in binary. That wouldn't do any good except blow out some Ox units.
Beautiful.
I know you're all used to me shrieking in binary, but
I have to know, what would it take to learn binary? Not so that I could get any bonuses, but that I could understand Riven.
Technically, it's just another language, so 1 XP and someone willing to teach you.
I would teach you if you wanted to. If you wanted to learn.
Hey, Bay.
So downtime's 4. If we ever. All right.
Yep. On the walk over the Torax, just Atlas would probably ask it a curiosity. Do you have a surname, or do you only go by Riven?
I go by Riven.
I see.
You're the first one who's asked me that before. So that's interesting.
I was curious.
Hmm.
I do like to know people personally. It's a lot more beneficial.
Well, put it to you
to,
this way:
my job.
if you know somebody who knows me who's not part of the squad, then that means I got a problem somewhere.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah. Beely, let me check. Beely, Leisha, Boulert, and Newbell are the only members of Squad 1 who are currently unoccupied.
Mhm.
Though, you can see the twins sitting on the fender of your Torox watching, along with Harlan and Ennis from Squad 2. Just watching casually.
Sure. Oh, that's
Looking
fine.
like they're doing other things or trying to in some cases. The twins are just blatantly just sitting and watching.
Yeah, that's fine. I expect as much. All right. You, Ingress. You got a title?
You, the others may call me brother if they wish, but Atlas is equally, functional.
All right. Listen up, fuckers. We got a new chaplain. His name is Brother Atlas Ingress. You will
Yes.
obviously treat him with respect, the same respect you would anyone else on the squad. Although I guess that could be varying from person to person. Yeah. If you got questions about him, he's replacing Aquatrom on Squad 1, who is off to go chase the dragon. Atlas, do you want to introduce yourself properly?
He'll nod, and he'll bow to everyone at once and say, as Riven has told you, my name is Brother Atlas. My full name is Atlas Ingrace, and I come from the planet of Briar's Peaks. I am a ordained priest of Sifar's order, a legally sanctioned sect of the Ecclesiarchy.
Feely gives you a sharp salute. Nubel and Leisha follow on a little slower. Bullet gives you a full click heel, stand to attention, sharp salute.
Bless their hearts.
Yeah.
He'll say directly, thank you. I appreciate the gesture, but do not feel the need to be so formal with me. I do not partake of the more fiery aspects of the common priesthood. I will not ask you to commit penitence for not showing proper respect. I do not believe in this practice.
Well, then we'll get along just fine.
You can
All right.
definitely see Feely and Nubel relax a little at that. But Bullet instead gives you a small bow from the waist and says, "It would be a dishonor to your position, brother, were I not at least greeting you formally once."
You know, of course. If you still wish to, I will not disdain you for this. To each their own. The way you
Okay,
carry
fine.
yourself is integral to your personage, and I would not damage that.
She inclines your head after a small moment and says, "Thank you, brother. The sentiment is appreciated."
Like I said, if you have any questions, definitely, bring them up with me. I'll be happy to help out however I can. Other than that, Atlas, if you want to go and meet the squad fully, feel free to do so. We'll give you a call if anything comes up. And
Of
she kinda
course.
just turns around and like skulks back to the scene.
Riven's gonna have my ass for this.
Well, I mean, I thought that was already established.
I can't help if a chaplain gets brought with us.
What? No, it's fine. I was making a joking
Oh.
in bad
It's a
taste.
euphemism.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I thought most of our conversations were euphemisms. Is this not understood?
You're not wrong.
Man, I wish I had one of those buttons that just made the noise nut.
We could set you up a hotkey.
Yeah, we could.
No,
No,
no, thank
But
you.
that-
All right, all right.
Is that
Ingress has
another
been,
one of the things that you'll just insta-kill the party for, Hugh?
yes.
That's fair.
This is a nut button.
Soundboards are high on my list of things that I despise.
That's fair. Yeah. All right.
Above or below, it's a small world.
Ooh,
A little bit below.
wow.
Good to know.
But yeah, the rest of the squad disperses, Feely and Leisha returning to the Taurox, back to their Vox gear and the surveillance unit. Bula pauses a moment and says, "Brother, do you have any duties you need to attend to?"
At the moment, I would like to meet with all of the squad, but it would seem that there are others who are busy at the moment. For the time being, I think... Seems to think for a minute. He kind of looks around. I don't think he sees a spot kind of between the Taurox and says, I think I will take this time to meditate and think through my words for later.
She nods and says, "Very well. If you require anything, let me know."
Of
Turns-
course.
She gives you another short salute and turns on her heel and returns to the camp.
He's going to go to a spot wide enough to keep the stick between him, and he's going to set it gently against his lap, keep his hands like this on the center portions of it, and just kind of rest his mind for a minute, get into maybe a little bit of a trance, but he's gonna make it so he can kind of look around as he does it and observe the place around him.
Yeah, you can see Feely working on the surveillance console, the door to the back of the Taurox hanging open. Leisha's sitting on the chair opposite him, looking a little nervous, not really sure what to do with herself, kind of fiddling with the Vox unit sitting beside her, trying to look busy, but you can see her stealing glances around to make sure no one's like coming towards her or looking angry in her direction. The rest of the squad seem to be milling about the crates of equipment, taking inventory, repackaging or storing things that have been jumbled up or mixed up in your various flights from other locations.
I think in that moment, you kind of sub. Which one? Leisha's the nervous one, right? That's what you said?
Leisha.
Leisha. I think he'll kind of take notice of that, and he'll look, maybe lean a little bit and say, "Excuse me." Kind of looking at Leisha in directions.
Jumps a little as you address her and turns. Yes, brother. Can I help you?
Yes, of course. Come here. Kind of gesture to a spot near him.
She looks a little nervously at Feely, who kind of shrugs. She climbs out of the back, hefting the Vox unit onto her shoulder. Comes over to sit beside you.
Nice. I need from you a simple thing. Could you please tell me what you know of your fellow squad mates?
Pauses a moment, looks around. I haven't been here long, but the sergeant majors, they're interested.
Mm-hmm.
I think they've got a thing for explosives. Everyone seems to keep giving them to them.
Mm-hmm. I see.
But like, they seem nice. They nicer than the guys in the boot camp.
This is something I've heard quite often. Although it's my understanding that is part of the procedure to jade you for the battlefield beforehand.
Kind of gives a nervous little shrug. I don't really know if it worked with me.
It's understandable. Not every method is applicable and functional for everyone.
She gives a small nod. Doesn't really meet your eyes. Still twiddling with the box. Kind of winding the cable from the handset between her fingers.
Tell me, what is it you're tasked to do right now?
I operate the box, while Feely is working the surveillance unit.
I see. I noticed you were fidgeting. It seemed as though you were unsure of yourself.
He kind of gives a little half grin, little slump of the shoulder. It's my first deployment.
I see. That one's actually interesting. He goes probably a little stone faced as he hears that. That's kind of what his thinking look is like. It's like, I see. Well, I hope that for you, it is not a horrible experience. I've heard tales of much worse things than here. And it would be nicer to know that such things did not befall you or anyone else here.
Nods. Hasn't been too bad so far, but no one's really shot at me yet.
That is good. But I will say you must be prepared for if it ever does occur.
She nods. Okay. Unconsciously adjusts the strap of the las gun over her shoulder.
I'll tell you what my master before me told me in regards to combat. And he'll kind of reach up and knock on the flak armor if Leech's got any.
Yep, she's wearing a suit.
Always trust in your armor, as you would trust in the Emperor. But never forget, it is always better to never be in the line of fire in the first place. Take cover, stay prone, make yourself as small a target as possible.
To another nod and pauses for a moment. You can see her brow furrow a little in thought. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. I can do that.
Good. Smiles. You should do just fine.
She kinda cocks her head to the side. Well, I'll do my best.
It is all we can do. And that is all that is needed in the end, truly. Trying to reach for something above us tends to end poorly.
Doesn't really seem to know how to reply to that, but gives you another nod.
Expected. Alright. You may go if you wish, or stay. I do not mind.
She thinks for a moment, then pulls the box unit round in front of her and turns it around to face her. And then leans back against the Taurox. I'll stay here for a bit.
He nods. Okay. Good. And yeah, you'll kind of go back to trancing.
Alright. We will move back up north to outside the garage.
Well, that's
As
annoying
written-
because I did give her a job, but whatever.
I mean, she's still doing the job. It's just in the vicinity of me.
Yeah, I know, and that's fine. Just she was supposed to be with Felix to, like, I guess Felix close enough. He'll come running if something catches fire. Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
I think she went from like 3 feet away from Feely to 6 feet away from Feely.
Yeah, all right, fine, acceptable.
I think you might just be salty. There's a priest.
Extremely. All
I
right.
cry. I'm trying so hard.
All right. Ingress is all sorted out. What do you want to do about? She kind of gestures at the warehouse, or the garage rather.
I want to keep Nualia doing watch for now, and I think I'm going to have to go back in and keep talking to them.
Okay. Well, body's all cleaned up. What do you want me to do?
Have it prepped for us to bring in the Taurox if we need to.
The garage or the body?
The body.
Oh, okay.
Keep it as clean as possible, though we want to preserve it if we can. If it is the one with the discrepancy, we'll want to have as much information as we can get.
Yeah. All right. I can just keep an eye on it for now. Be a little awkward if it decided to start getting up and wandering around again.
Yeah, that would be a little bad.
Yeah, and then she cocks a smile at Flux and heads back into the garage.
Yeah, Flux is just gonna watch Riven. And then look into the distance at the Turok stuff. And then just heavy sigh before walking back in.
Before you go, as you sigh, Frampt kind of clears his throat. I'll arrange the Torox. Benson Brackle, with me. He turns on his heel. The two guards you had called over as the rhinos approached go with him.
I don't think I literally had a conversation with Frampt when I wasn't pretending to be a robot. I just think I haven't talked to him since.
I gotta be honest, I might have begged you to let him stay with us at this point. He's kind of grown on me.
Yeah, that's fair.
But,
No, it just occurred to me that like Riven has never had a conversation with him in like earnest, but that's okay. Probably not a good
that's
idea.
fair. Flux decided to see how far they could push the line.
Yeah.
Given the response I got, maybe he's not that bad.
Yeah, I remember because you used me for that.
I mean, not just you.
That's true.
I did
Yeah.
make a comment about a stick being up his ass.
Yes, that is true. You did.
To him,
Yeah,
and then he
I have the
threatened to
stick.
flog you.
Listen, my life is already forfeit. I might as well enjoy the time I have. Oh my god, I want to breathe.
What?
I'm on push to talk. Because every other sentence I keep coughing.
Oh.
And I'm kind of tired of it.
The Rona claims another victim.
God, I hope not.
That'd be
I
cursed.
will shiv you.
Nah, you're fine. It was the Rona, but you are fine.
I wasn't sick, it's fine.
You weren't
Well.
that sick, thankfully.
I wasn't sick, I was just sleepy.
What you are is L lucky.
I will clarify for the audience. First dose of the vaccine is worth getting. It still helps. It's not complete immunity, but it helps.
Yes.
You did say both doses, right?
I only have
Yeah.
the first one. I haven't gotten the second one yet.
I see. Yes.
I was supposed to get it during fucking break, but then my mother was a dumbass and got fucking corona, and then I caught it from her, so I couldn't go fucking get it before school starts.
Cursed.
Well, then yes, you're definitely lucky.
I'm getting mine next Saturday. Second dose.
Great.
I am happy to have gotten my second dose already.
I remember I got
the
mine
rollout's
like
been a
super
bit
early.
slow in my area.
Mm.
I've been holding off getting the second dose because my family's been crazy about it.
Mm.
I was gonna get it while they were supposed to be out of town, but then my mom got COVID,
Yeah. As
and I haven't wanted to do the whole like pseudo symptoms thing around them because they feel vindicated in the fact that the vaccine is horrible and gonna cause cancer or some shit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
Alex's
why?
parents are interesting people.
yeah.
Okay. I think I just didn't realize how quite what the level of interesting was.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
But yeah, aside from vaccine awareness, which is always good, Flux, you are left alone by the ground car outside the garage. What are you doing?
coughing currently.
Apparently so.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Flux just has a coughing fit in the middle of the street. Hacking up like that.
Fuck you.
You get a few worried glances from who is that on patrol? Lace. Yeah, Lace gives you a kind of cockeyed side eye. Takes a couple of steps away from you.
And it's one of those coughing fits of like, they don't sound super sick, but they also can't stop coughing, so they end up just like bent over trying to breathe, and it only makes it worse.
Yeah.
I know that feeling.
I.e., what I've been doing this past week.
Feels
So
bad.
done. So done. But they'll recover and just kind of be leaning on the car for a bit before walking in and pulling out their data pad and just pretending that none of that happened as they walk towards Noelia.
You doing all right, Flux?
I am more than okay. Everything's great.
Are you sure about
Been a
that? Do you
great
need a
day.
checkup?
I'm fine.
That-
You're fine. You can keep doing your thing.
Well,
I think Ruben and Noelia probably exchanged glances.
probably.
Very meaningful glances.
Yeah. Just there's just like one of us mouths like which one holds her down? Which one holds them down?
That's a good question. Probably me, but
Yeah. Noelia will turn and say, "Do remember that we do have that shipment coming in, and I may need to be present for that."
Yeah, I wanted you to be on hand to manage that.
Of course. I will be here.
I'll be honest, some small paranoid part of me is waiting for it to tell us exactly nothing.
I admit I have had that worry as well.
Flux, I think you're the most paranoid person I have ever met. I think that's a compliment, though. I'm not
If
sure.
I needed a
think about that one.
defense, though I really don't think I do.
No, you don't. Like, I
I'll
get
just
it.
leave it at that.
Yeah, no,
Honestly-
I get it. I get it.
Honestly, in this moment especially, it is very called for, and take this as however you wish, but you would probably make a good agent for the Inquisition with that mindset.
No.
Oof, that's harsh.
And this is
Walia just
like
smirks.
just as much as like my finger just got to thing, like it's almost on Nualia's face.
Yeah, Nualia is just smirking.
One of that moments when you're like, I'm going to rub this on your face so you understand no. Yeah. Just don't.
Already done it.
I hate you.
Noelia, you kiss your living saint with that mouth?
What?
I don't know. I don't know what your hierarchy looks like.
How have you lived this long
Sheer luck.
and not understood
Espionage.
the basics of just the church?
Let me tell you about how coffin ships work.
To be fair,
Some-
I am not.
Some other time though, since you have stuff to do.
To be fair, I am not entirely certain that a great deal of the ecclesiarchy understands how their hierarchy works.
True.
Also,
You're
just pulled
not
that from
wrong.
nowhere. I just assume you have something like that. Whatever. I don't know what. We should talk about your whole church thing sometime.
If you wish.
I mean, it's professional curiosity at this point.
I have to be honest. I find the standard ecclesiarchy quite lacking. Then again, raised forge roll.
Hmm. Yeah, well, yeah, you're I think you're my first good experience with any church person.
Thank you.
That's a compliment.
I know, but I'm also still not sure how to take that.
Well,
I-
take it as the church is depressing, horrifying, and, well, it's really good at getting me into a nap.
I think at this point I'm just gonna go back to watching the door.
That may be wise. I don't remember the last time I slept.
Yeah, it's been a bit for me as well.
Well, maybe when this is over, we can all get sleep. That would be a nice change of pace.
They don't let us sleep.
Yeah, I know, but it's... we'll figure it out.
That's like asking for all of the equipment we need.
Hmm. That will be the day.
All I'm saying, microwave. Game changer. Microwave. I
What is
need
a
one.
microwave?
Nualia, can you get me a microwave?
What is a microwave?
I can attempt to.
It's a cooking implement. They come in a box, you stick food in it,
It might
it
actually.
turns it from shit to hot shit.
That sounds like
I'm
that
not.
sounds incredibly inefficient.
I'm not entirely certain if. Would it be better to ask the quartermaster or the mechanicus for that?
I don't know. All I know is I need one.
Very well.
Okay, but why would you just heat up ration bars?
Some of them taste better when they're hot.
My entire life experience tells me two things. One, that a microwave is completely ineffective for anything fresh, and also that ration bars taste terrible warm.
Well, first
don't-
off, I need to know where the fuck you found fresh food, because that's just illegal.
As well, I think
Second
the
off-
2E ration bars are fairly nice when cooked.
Yeah, it depends on what rations you're used to. Like, the bars aren't great, but when they come in little packets, that's alright.
I mean, I pretty much just stick to the bars.
Ah, so you prefer the Emperor brand Mercy bars?
Well, saying I prefer them is a bit of a stretch, but I feel like... I suppose I shouldn't be surprised that marketing campaign was actually successful.
I'm going to be honest, I don't know how it could have been anything except successful.
See,
And that's not because it was good.
You didn't think it was a little
I don't
gauche?
know. Best marketing campaign was the Emperor Provides brand.
When is that?
That's where you get the little packets. They even come with spoons.
I don't think I've ever had those. I've pretty much been sticking to the bars for a while.
They're the ones that are good warm.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on this. It's definitely not a body for anyone who might be listening from the outside.
Yeah, let's get this closed.
Hero to pull down the bay door. You can see Lace outside, very clearly trying not to look like he's listening.
Something that actually occurred
Flux
to
is
me.
just gonna lean a hand out with the middle finger and draw it into the door as it closes very slowly.
Meanwhile, Riven's gonna go over
You
comms.
think
Lace,
you
you have a
see-
job to do. Go do it.
His back's to you, but you think you see a slight quirk of the corner of his mouth.
something
Excellent.
that occurs to me. The original attack happened here in this room. Did we ever search this room for other entities?
I have to be honest. If I was a spooky double doppelganger, whatever we're calling this, be a divide and conquer moment. If someone catches you with a double, you're not gonna want to let them know there's another one. I'd body snatch like one person at a time and replace them slowly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
but
once I
also
had
never-
someone replaced, I wouldn't have them anywhere near the original, like where another body's being snatched.
That is true, but it still begs the question: Did we search the room and make sure that this
No.
was actually secure?
I mean, I think Noah makes a good point.
Yeah, feel free to look.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I'll
I
do
will.
that. Everyone else is occupied.
You know, Noalia will help in the search. I mean, she can just like at the very least do basic look arounds and still be able to guard the door.
I'll take awareness or investigation.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do just awareness. I'll leave investigation to Riven.
They're actually, I have the same in both, and yours are better than both of mine.
You can choose to re-roll if you want to.
Yeah, but I'd rather save the wrath for later.
That is fair. Yeah, Riven, you don't really notice anything out of the ordinary. It's a fairly untidy and messy workspace as it is.
Mm.
You don't really know what out of place would even look like here.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable.
Noalia, you've had a bit more experience in tracking unusual things, and maybe even dealing with a couple of murders now and then on a monastery world. You have a look around the area. You can see from the dust marks on the shelves and some of the oil stains where objects had been and have been dislodged, and you can see them scattered about the floor at the foot of the shelving. Someone was clearly thrown up against here and knocked something off with their elbow. Looks like an oil can of some kind. Looking further around the room, you can see scuff marks in a puddle of oil left by the can. 2 pairs of feet fighting against each other. Though, as one is pushed against the shelving, it seems that they span and tumbled, falling to the ground around where the body was found. Aside from that, you can't notice anything particularly unusual about the garage. Nothing hiding in the dark. The truck is empty and quiet.
Out of curiosity, do the shoes have different boot prints?
They do.
Okay. Noalia will call Flux over and just say, Flux, can you get a picture of these boot prints?
I can. Found anything interesting?
I'm not sure yet. It's signs of the attack, signs of scuffle, but I don't have any way of deciding who was who. It's hard to tell who was attacking who in this moment.
Well, can you walk me through what you do know happened?
Yeah, she'll relay she'll relay the information. So from what I can see, someone was standing here, they got attacked, knocked over the oil can, they were pushed up against the truck here. Here, and she points to the puddle, both people were standing here, and they spun, fell, and I think that might be about when we came upon the scene.
Right, so... Sorry, can you tell which person fell and where they were standing before that?
I can make an inference, but the best way is to tell the boot prints. Compare the boot prints in the oil with the bottoms of the boots with each person.
Well, you have the body out here.
Yes. So
Can we use that as the default?
Yes. We can at the very least check that one, and that will tell us where the other person was.
All right, let's do that before I go in.
All right.
The more information I can get on who was where will help us find discrepancies.
Oh, and you wanted information on Lucas's childhood. I have some of that as well, and some activities that his sister preferred. And she is being extra quiet while saying that.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Flux is going to hand over the data pad.
Mhm.
Write it down for me.
Will do, and I will actually type that out in the Discord.
Sounds good.
What was the sister's name again?
Yes, sir.
Jessa, thank you.
Angry typing.
Spook.
Angry typing.
Angry typing.
My ears.
I gotta be honest. The typing on the like clacky keyboards is fucking ASMR. I love that shit.
The main thing that I remember, I know there was one other thing that she said, and I cannot remember it. But that's the big thing, is Lucas liked to skip stones in the water reservoir, which was bigger years ago. But his sister didn't have fun with it. She instead preferred to play tag, but there weren't that many kids in the village.
All right, let's get these boot measurements.
Not
And,
difficult to check the boots on the body. You unwrap the foot of Ribbon's makeshift body bag. His boots appear to be maybe half a size too small for his feet.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'll fix it.
Thank you. Something to also check, I think, would be it. Check the sizes of clothing and check with the family on whether or not that's normal.
I recommend the people around here probably have to reuse a lot of stuff.
Oh yes, I imagine a lot is hand-me-downs.
Can we see which which individual had which pair of shoes?
The one who was pushed up against the shelving had the larger pair of boots.
Had the larger pair.
Yes.
Okay, and this one has the dead body has the smaller pair.
Yes.
So they did the pushing, as far as we can tell.
That would be the inference, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Are they also the one that we can tell fell to the ground, or?
Hard to say. They move to the edge of the pool of oil as they scuffle, and you can see boot prints, but it seems that they were twisting and turning a lot, scuffing a lot of the marks.
Yeah. Yeah, there wouldn't have been a whole lot of marks that were just in one spot.
Yeah, you can see a couple of large, clear boot prints at the edge of the scuffle. It looks like it's mostly the larger pair of boots facing towards where the body is, and the smaller pair facing away from it.
Which, honestly, would make sense. The oil can that got knocked over, did it spill?
Yes.
Is that what created some of the the puddle, or was that a different
Yeah, puddle
a
that
different
they're
spill?
sitting in is entirely
Is-
oil.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was just like a drip or if it specifically came from the can. Okay.
There is a large smeared area with faint red streaks where the blood pool was, where there are no markings or prints. Because you asked Ribbon to clean up the mess.
Yep. Well, the good news is we at least knew that both people were wearing shoes at the time of the murder,
I mean,
so we
it's
can at least assume something humanoid.
yes, it begs a lot of questions. Where they got. Actually, thinking about it, are the clothing that the two Lucases wearing, are they similar?
I was gonna ask that too.
They are similar. Both of them are wearing a mix of different styles and ages of clothing, very clearly hand-me-down in many areas. One of the body is wearing a jumpsuit that's open at the unzipped at the back and wrapped around the waist instead of over the shoulders. He's wearing a loose t-shirt underneath. The t-shirt is a little small, seems a little tight, but the jumpsuit is clearly a couple of sizes too big. The sleeves and the hems of the legs are rolled up and stitched in place.
And what about
The
other?
other Lucas is wearing a heavy leather smock over a kind of button-up work shirt and a pair of rough trousers over a pair of work boots.
Which those would make sense for coming to repair the truck.
Flux worked with them earlier today, right?
Yes.
Were either of them wearing the same thing that they were wearing earlier?
No. When you had met them before, Lucas had been wearing a heavy overcoat jacket. It looked like it might have been military issue over a set of trousers and a t-shirt that looks like the same t-shirt the body is wearing, but aside from that, the rest has changed.
Right. Well, Noelia, do me a favor.
Yes,
Don't let anyone in the room
of course.
unless I tell you. It's alright. If someone does want to come in, talk to me on that private channel we set up.
Of course.
If it is alright to come grab me, say that Frempt wants me.
Understood.
And yeah, we'll go back in. Yay.
Alright. Yeah, you open the door, stepping into the small office to find Lucas sitting on the chair where you left him, currently just twirling a pen between his fingers.
Sorry for the wait. I had a bit of a talking to. Apparently, well, I need to get this hurried up as soon as we can.
He frowns a little, but straightens up. Alright, the sooner I can go home, the better.
Right, and Flux will retake their seat. Now, when we were talking a bit ago, you were telling me about the attack and how they came at you, correct?
Yeah. Shoved me up against the shelves.
Right, and did you notice anything odd about their appearance or how they moved, what they were doing?
It's a bit of a blur, but there's a lot of snarling and teeth snapping. He felt strong, but I was scared, so I don't know.
Now, by snarling and teeth snapping, did you mean he didn't look entirely like you? Or that he was just behaving oddly?
Yeah, that was the creepy bit. He looked just like me, but he was gnashing and snarling like an animal.
Did they say anything to you?
Not a word. Well, not a word I could understand. There's a lot of kind of garbled "arr" noises, but I don't know. Might have been words, maybe.
Alright. So, outside of the behavior with how they were speaking and emoting, did they move oddly in their limbs?
Pretty close up. It was hard to tell. They grabbed my wrist and slammed it back, and they tried to grab my other arm, but I pulled it in close, knocked something off the shelf, and tried to shove him with my shoulder, getting close. He took a step back and it got really dizzy. We span around a bit. I think I kicked him in the shin. He fell, and the screwdriver I had in my hand just seemed like the instinctive thing to do. Straighten his neck.
And that's when Riven and Noelia came in.
About then, I heard a voice and then footsteps. And as I was standing up, well, I felt, I don't know how many more there were, so I legged it.
Okay. Let's take a few steps back before this. Has anything odd been going on before this?
Well, aside from the livestock turning up dead, that was fucking weird. The butcher, I keep forgetting his name. Let me actually check my notes because I have forgotten his name.
Okay, so that's not in character. All right.
No,
It
that's
is both
definitely in character.
and not in character.
That would have been real helpful.
He was really committed to the role.
That would have been a breakthrough in this case for sure.
The longer this goes on, the more you have to confirm that this person is the doppelganger.
Alright. Samuel Garrett. Yeah, Sam. Sam Garrett, the butcher. He was always a mean bugger, but I don't know, it's like he took a grudge against me or some shit the last couple of weeks.
Can you go into more detail on that?
Yeah, like, what was it? 6 days ago, I was working on the car. One of the brake pads worn out. It was fucking dangerous to drive, so I was replacing it. But he comes out and starts yelling at me, berating me, telling me it should be ready to go, and he didn't care if it needed fixing, he needed it now. And, I mean, he's always been stern, but he's never just come out and yelled at me like that.
What were you repairing the car to do?
I was fixing the brake so that it could actually fucking stop if anyone wanted to. Otherwise, you know, it wouldn't clamp properly. It's worn out.
And what did he need the car for?
Wouldn't say. I asked him why he needed it, and he said, that's not your concern. I've got to take care of my herds. Something to that effect.
Is it normal for people to go out individually?
Pretty normal. We don't have the population to go out in pairs.
Even though you all share the same vehicles?
Well, most of us have jobs to do around the village. Garrett and Mr. Ezra, they're the only ones that really leave town that much. Sometimes Franklin, but he mostly sticks to home and makes crappy furniture.
Has anyone been leaving more often? Or any major changes in schedule? I'd imagine stuff would be fairly uniform given the jobs you have to do here.
He nods. Yeah, we don't have to travel that much. Ezra only goes out maybe once every couple of cycles, just in case. Wants to check around the area, make sure nothing's changed. But Mr. Garrett, yeah, he's been going out more lately. Not sure why. Didn't seem that odd, honestly. It's only like once or twice every couple of cycles, but yeah, he normally only goes out when there's a body that needs butchering.
When did you notice that he started going out more often?
I guess the day he came and yelled at me, actually.
And that was how long ago?
6 days.
Hey, hey Flux. Riven Page in over comms. Oh, we have a private line, don't we?
Yes.
Ask him if he knows what his sister gets up to at night.
Can you even hear me?
Oh no, I'm just interjecting this. I know you're in there. And it was literally I had an aha moment.
Flux will give a nod. Not
Not that I can see it or anything, but
Yeah,
you know.
no, they just are totally nodding to themselves.
Yep.
Before realizing what they're doing and just kind of, yep, this is my life.
Oh
now.
wait, let me actually give them information. Yeah, so his sister has been going around with the God, who the hell was that other woman? I don't remember her name or
Leah
who she was.
Stark.
Leah
Because
Stark.
I'm terrible at coming up with names.
You're good. It's fine. So I don't know if you'd know this, but it might be some helpful information. Night or two. I don't remember if it was a night or two ago. I literally have no idea how time passes in this world.
It
But
was last night.
last night, yeah, ask him if he knows what his sister was up to last night. Me and Lace accidentally intruded upon a very private moment between his sister and Leah Stark. So might be useful information, maybe not, but something to go off. Anyway, you get back to your thing, and then she drops comms.
Yeah, Flux will just nod to themselves, taking the minute to like take notes, so it looks like they're just concentrating. So you noticed it 6 days ago,
Yeah, about then.
which means you would have had to connect the dots that it was happening earlier.
I mean, it wasn't that odd, if we're being honest. Like, we all own the car. Everyone's allowed to use it. We just don't often need to. I used to drive it around for fun on some of the planes.
Okay. So, you said you don't know, or you didn't know, how many of these doubles there are.
Dude. No offense.
None taken. I was actually going to ask you. Assume you were me. How would you decide if someone was a double or not?
He pauses and looks genuinely confused for a moment. That's a good question. I don't really know any Medicaid stuff, but I'd probably ask one of them.
So you would assume that the doubles are different medically from the people?
He shrugs. I guess. Like, there's got to be something different about them, right? Something we can find. Else, how'd you ever know?
Well, that is the trick, isn't it? So, by your assumption, then we would say that the doubles aren't human.
He pauses and kind of frowns to himself. I guess? I mean, can there be other people who look like you? Is that normal?
I mean, personally, I think it depends. Someone that wants to look like you? That seems less likely. I can see certain individuals that would want to pretend they're other people, though.
Surgery.
More political, though. That is one potential option, though I don't know why that would be the case here.
He looks equally confused. Yeah, I don't know. How would you check for that?
Well, there's always genetic testing, though that does beg the question, what's special about you that they would want to take?
I have the keys to the truck.
And do you still have the keys to the truck?
He pauses, pats himself down, reaches into a back pocket. There it is. Fishes out a small key on a loop. There's no tag, it's just a bare key.
Do you mind if I keep that?
He shrugs, puts it on the table. I mean, Ezra's gonna want it back. It was expensive to get that truck, and more expensive to fix it, if we're being honest.
So there's the truck and the ground car.
He nods.
The truck is broken. Why do I want the keys to your truck?
Well, I've been fixing it, and the hardest bit was the bit you helped with, if we're being honest. Couldn't have fixed the frame without you, so thanks for that.
My pleasure. How far would you say the truck can get out before it's a problem getting it back in? Or before people would reasonably notice or be concerned?
It could get about 100 miles to its tank, give or take. If it's unladen, then maybe 150, if you're lucky. Depending where you're going. If it's all uphill, that's a different matter.
When Garrett goes out, does he bring anything?
No, it's usually just him and his work gear.
And does he bring anything back?
He pauses. I've only seen him come back a couple of times, usually busy. Sometimes he does, but more often than not, he doesn't. I've assumed he was doing something else.
What else is there to do out here?
I don't know. Cloud watching. Maybe joyriding.
Okay. So, we've talked about why they would want you. Let's say you were a double. Why do you think you would be here? What's special about this area?
He frowns a little. Nothing I can think of. I mean, the front's moved over here a couple of times, but the aquifer's drying up. There's nothing really that valuable about the livestock or the crops. You can get them anywhere. Only thing I can think of that's odd is there was a meteor a couple of months ago.
Oh,
Landed somewhere up north. Ezra told us not to go there.
how long ago was that?
2.5 months, something like that.
Did Ezra take a group to find this?
He went out to check it, yeah, but it was just him.
And then nobody went near it.
Not that I know of. I certainly didn't. Chunk of something falls out of the sky. It's got to be a bad omen, right?
I couldn't agree more. We might have a test that would lay a bit of the issues here to rest. I'm gonna ask you some more personal questions.
He nods. Alright then.
Let's start basic with recent times. Are you at all familiar with your sister's habits out of work hours?
He gives you a suspicious frown. What are you getting at?
I'm just curious how well you know your sibling.
Well, I know she sneaks out sometimes, but so do I.
And you have no idea what she's doing?
Well, I did try to follow her once, but she caught me and she broke my fucking nose, so I decided not to bother.
Got him.
Understandably. What about when you were younger? Are there any memories that leap out to you about the two of you? Something that both of you would remember, happened often, something like that?
We were always close. Twins, you know, it's like a portent or something. That's what the missionary said when he came through. We always hung out together most of the time. I like skipping the stones. You know, the trajectory, the getting the right angle, the right amount of force. loved working it out in my head. I think that's why I like working with machines so much. But Jessa didn't really take to it. Not much.
Not her thing?
Nah, don't think so. She couldn't quite get it right, you know. I tried to help her, but apparently I didn't.
Well, what did that leave the two of you doing? Her being frustrated? Or did you find something else to do?
I mean, what much else was there to do? As soon as we were old enough, we asked Ezra if we could work on some of the cars. And when we thought we could push our luck, we occasionally snuck one of them out at night. But we got caught a few times as well.
That must have gone wonderfully.
Yeah, but I mean, what's he gonna do? Stop us from repairing the car? Who else is gonna do it?
I mean, I can't blame you there. Well, on the one hand, I'm satisfied with your answers. On the other hand, I'm not entirely sure it's the safest thing to let you walk out of here right now.
Frowns a little. You gonna keep me locked in here?
I'm going to keep you with my second squad. You'll like the lead. She'll grow on you.
Where's that gonna be?
You're going to be by the Tauroxes that we drove in. While we get the rest of this sorted out, I would prefer to know that the person I'm talking to is the person I'm going to talk to in the future. And to be perfectly honest, my squad's the only group that I know I've had here and back. We've been in communication for the majority of the time.
He nods slowly. I guess I understand.
Now, I'm more than willing to do that. But you do have to know, if you don't cooperate, I am going to have to send Noelle after you again.
He definitely looks a little cowed by that. Nods firmly, saying, I won't cause any trouble.
Good. I'm here to make sure as many people as I can get to go home. That works so much better when everyone else plays nice.
Slow nod, watching you warily.
And Flux will stand up and give him a hand to help him up.
He
And
accepts that.
sorry. Motherfucker. On comm, Noelle will just hear. We're coming out. I'm going to keep him with Lanewald for now.
Say that one more time.
We're coming out. I'm going to keep him with Lanewald for now.
Understood.
And, yeah, we will head out and go to Taurox Numero Dos.
There is no sign of Lanewald at the Taurox, but the rest of the squad are there.
Yeah, Flux will just get on comm very quickly. And we'll come to the Torox.
Would I have comms?
I don't know. We've had time to give them to you.
I'm going
Told you to get him comfy.
I'm going to save you some effort and say that you were issued comms before you arrived.
Great,
Okay.
thanks.
Cool. No problem.
I don't know what makes a chaplain comfy.
Yeah, but, yo,
I assume there's just
we-
a stick for him to sit on.
It probably would have made sense that we would have taken the comms from Agril and given them to
Yeah, that would have made
to
total
the-
sense.
to the new guy.
Atlas.
yeah.
Yeah.
Eh.
Also, Lanewald is currently watching the other house.
This is fair.
Although isn't Packard still? God, he must be so bored.
Honestly, I feel like this is just Packard's thing.
Yeah.
Like, you can't tell me this man does not enjoy what he does, and what he does involves a
Yeah.
lot of just sitting and waiting.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that works out pretty well potentially. Yeah.
Yeah. You arrive at the Torox, and after a few minutes, Lanewald appears.
Right. Could you pick as your verification?
Run that by me.
Could you
Oh,
pick
she
as your
literally-
verification? Flux had
have-
told everyone to find someone that they weren't going to be patrolling with that could verify something personal.
Shit, who did I pick?
Did you pick anyone for anyone?
I remember making some calculations, but I can't remember what they were.
I mean, I also don't remember if I actually told anyone that, because I think I was in the garage the whole time. But if you did it on comms, then
Sorry.
Okay. Shit. I apparently was not prepared for this.
Well, it's
Makes
Eli now.
doppelganger scenario. Doesn't prepare for verification against doppelganger scenario.
Alright, yeah. Lanewald will nod and say, Kaminsky.
Right. And Flux will get on comm. Kaminsky, get on and insert random not in use Vox frequency.
There's a pause, and then they click on the correct frequency. Yes, Sergeant Major, how can I assist?
Lanewald's gonna get on, verify with you, then come off, and you'll tell me yes or no. Understood?
Understood.
And Flux will disconnect and give Lanewald a nod. Go ahead.
Yeah. Lanewald takes a moment, fiddling with her box speed, and says, Alright, Kaminsky. When I joined the Militarum when I was press ganged while working as a dockhand at the spaceport on Gideon Primus. I incapacitated 7 people in that fight. There's a pause, and then a click on your Vox, Flux. That is correct.
Right. I suggest you agree on a switch in number. That way it can't be reused. Until then, I've got someone for you to watch for me. And Flux will wave a hand at our buddy Lucas.
Yeah. Lucas looks a little concerned by Lanewald's fairly significant frame. As
Lucas?
she
You're gonna love
looms over him
Laidwald.
with grim.
She's a big teddy bear. And Flux will just look up at Laidwald with a grin.
She looms over Lucas with a grin, slaps a meaty hand on his shoulder. Don't worry, lad. I'll keep you safe as houses, I will.
Atlas passively observes this and is. It's weird to say he looks curious because his curious look is stone faced.
Big titty shotgun GF.
Laidwald is one of the best characters in this.
Yep.
I'm glad you all approve.
Holy.
Yeet.
Right, just as much as you're to take care of him, you're also not to let him leave your sight. And vice versa. Watch her for me. And Flux will be looking at Lucas for that one.
He looks a little confused, but nods and says, yeah, sure. I'm not sure what I'd do if I saw anything. He kind of glances up at Laidwald.
Well, you have a whole squad of 10 people here to yell at if something goes wrong.
He doesn't look very convinced, but he doesn't argue either.
Flux will just give Laidwald another grin. And very quietly on the private box frequency that they had set up. I'm gonna take squad 1 out. We might have found a lead on what's going on. I need you to keep things maintained here. Packard can stay.
Laidwald gives you a nod. Doesn't say anything. Just steers Lucas towards the Torok. Says, don't worry, lad. We've got a nice little camp set up round the back.
On the group Vox, Flux will hit it on. Alright, squad 1, get your shit together. Packard, you can stay with Laidwald. Stuff
Alright.
packed and ready in 10. Wheels up.
Can do.
Atlas simply stands up from his position and will just ask him, where are we gathering?
We're gonna gather at our Torox, the original. And Flux is gonna get back on the comm. By the way, we need to name her.
We'll get there. Look, let's get back to base. You can have that conversation and sort it out.
Might I ask which one is the original?
Yeah, Flux will be walking over there and smack it on the side. This one is the baby. Laidwald gets the other one. It's not been broken in.
I see.
For reference, the original is the one with the straight stripe, not the diagonal one.
That is good to know because I have had zero clue.
Yeah, me
I
too.
mentioned
That's
this
good.
the first time I introduced the new Toroks, but
I don't listen when you speak.
clearly.
Bruh moment.
But yeah,
No.
there's a general round of affirmatives, and over the squad box you hear Frampt's voice. Which group would you like me in, Sergeant Major?
I think we're gonna need you with us.
Good. And yeah,
Front, if you don't mind, could I get a private line?
of course, Sergeant Major. There's a click, and he switches over to the line of your choice.
Commissars are largely meant as a pseudo morale boost to keep people walking towards dangerous things, correct?
Put it very bluntly, that is a large part of our job, yeah.
Right. On a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you in your ability to do that?
depending on the threat that approaches us, I would consider myself as competent as many commissars.
Right, and Flux is doing this all in their head, while making themselves look busy prepping the Torox.
Fair.
I'm just going to give you a heads up, because I'm not telling the rest of the squad until we're on the way. You're aware of the doubles we've found.
Not, but that explains the visitor.
Yeah. We're gonna go hunt down a meteor that crashed down recently.
Oh no.
Understood. Have you verified the information?
That's what we're doing.
With others, they may have just given you a false lead.
This is very true. We attempted. Honestly, at this point, the only kind of verification we can get is personal information. We independently asked our primary suspect for a memory of them and their sibling, and had done the same with the sibling before. They hadn't had any contact between them, and they both gave the same answer. That's the best I can do right now.
Surely another story.
Yeah, we've gotten as many details as we can. I'm definitely going to be having the squad here, asking questions about it. But if there is something, I'd rather be there sooner than later.
Sergeant Major, I will board the Torox immediately.
And Flux will get back on the main line. One more minute, Lanewell?
Got it, boss. There's a click as he switches back to the line.
Real quick, while things are going on, Atlas will get on and say, he'll come over to Frampt, although I think he's just tech inept enough to, like, not set up a private thing. Say, if possible, at some point, Commissar Frampt, I would like to have a private discussion with you. There are certain things I need to discuss.
As we return from this expedition, I will be happy to discuss anything you require.
That will be good, thank you.
Yeah, you switch over to your private line, Flux, with Lanewold.
While we're out, I'm going to have you ask for some information from the locals. Specifically, if any habits have changed recently and if anyone's noticed anything odd. Don't give any leading questions, but if anyone has also seen anything weird with the butcher, as well as see if there's a meteor that's crashed nearby recently and if anyone's gone near it.
Understood, Sergeant Major. I'll do as much as I can. Might have Harlan have a go at it. He seems more along that line of socializing, shall we say.
It's your call. You're just as much in charge of your squad.
Got
Much
it, boss.
to your dismay. But yeah, Flux will get their shit together.
Yep. The majority of Squad 1 pile into the Taurox. Boulert is currently sitting in the driver's seat where Frampt ordered her to wait.
Is Nualia getting in the Taurox?
Walia is going to actually ask, how long do you think this excursion will take?
I was going to ask when your supplies were coming in.
Hugh, how long has it been since the message to the Inquisition?
2.5 hours.
Honestly, it could be... They told me 1 to 2 hours. It's been 2.5 now. Sorry, 1 to 2 hours before the shipment left. So...
If it's all the same to you, I'd prefer you be here to help Lanewald verify what's going on.
I can do that.
Test Lucas as soon as you get what you need.
Of course. I can do that.
Alright then.
Before I forget, Atlas, upon seeing Noel, would probably stop whatever he's doing real quick and like he knows he's about to be busy, but he briefly will go over and introduce himself. It is good to meet you, sister. I am Brother Atlas Ingrace of the Seafar sect of Briar's Peak. It is good to meet you.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Brother Ingrace. I am Sister Nualia of the Order of the Bleeding Rose. I look forward to working with you, and I would be more than happy to talk with you another time. As I'm sure we both know, it is a little busy at the moment.
Of course.
But I am happy to have a chaplain here with us.
And I am happy to be here. I do hope I can perform to the expectations of these people here and properly guide them.
I think you will find that the expectations of at least some of them, well, you might expect it. But they, at the very least, they are not, what's the word? Violently against it?
I see. I would hope, at the very least, that the particular differences of my sect will not grate with their understandings.
Well,
It has been a point of contention elsewhere, but these people seem quite agreeable.
I would say that the vast majority of them are decent people, but we can... I think you and I can discuss, and I can give you my impression of some of these people's faiths.
I can't wait to Nualia shit talk me.
That'll be an interesting. This will be-
Sergeant Major Flux is the biggest dickhead in the entire group.
Thank you, I work hard at that.
Hey,
See, that's when Ingrace starts lecturing you on being a dick behind people's back.
yeah.
You're not doing it right. If you're gonna be a dick behind people's back, you have to do it with finesse.
What's up, favorite?
Unfortunately,
Oh, no,
no.
I'm just gonna probably Vox or Flux. Hey, are we taking the chaplain with us?
He's part of our squad.
Yeah, but has he even seen battle?
Well, in good news, we don't know if that's what this is going to be.
Yeah, but like, come on, realistically, we might as well assume.
Flux is gonna sigh and lean back in their seat.
Is this over public or private?
Oh, I guess if we're in this, are we both? We're both in the Taurox, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably just
Oh,
coming over.
This is 100% an out loud conversation then.
Okay, alright.
This is not over Vox. This is literally like
Okay.
I gave the side eye to Boulaert, who hopefully got out of the driver's seat.
Yeah, you're the corporal, you give the orders.
Is it okay to say that I walk in like slightly after having his combat prowess questioned?
Do you not want to be involved in this conversation? It's okay if you don't.
I mean, I do. I just want to make sure that's okay.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
Flux is gonna sigh and lean back in their seat. This isn't about that. You and I both know this isn't about that.
This isn't about our newbie's combat prowess.
How did we meet Agrotrom?
He got dropped off on a truck, didn't he?
Yes.
No?
Valkyrie, guns blazing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
during
I mean, it's
ambush.
close enough. It makes my point.
I also literally didn't remember.
Yeah.
So.
Did you just guess based off of the vibe?
Yep.
But-
Well, I guessed based off of Atlas dropping in.
Atlas kind of like, as he kind of like catches up with what he's hearing, hears combat prowess, and he's like, "Oh, they must presume I haven't battled." He says, "I am
I
trained."
specifically have presumed that. Yes.
Yeah, he'll look at Riven. No particular look on his face. You say, "I am trained, and I have experienced combat before." Yes. I will notate that I am no marksman, and my training is particularly in melee combat.
Can you take an order if we give it to you?
Yes. He seems confused.
All right.
I fail to see why that was needed.
Flux is gonna just smack Riven on the shoulder. You seem to forget where we are. People that don't follow orders die quick here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Flux will, give... Shit, names. Sorry, still learning.
Atlas.
Atlas, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flux will, give Atlas a nod. Worked with the chaplain before. Y'all are scarier than the rest.
For you, it's good enough for me, for sure.
I would ask for what practice exactly he took. It would sound to me that your experience was with a priest of the common cloth, of which I do not choose to mimic.
No, I do, I adhere more to the Mechanicus teachings. What I meant is more, and they're gonna turn to Riven. These fucks are arguably more exposed than a lot of us out here. They gotta know how to keep their own.
All right. I mean, Riven just kind of cocks her head. Hey, like I said, he's good enough for you. He's good enough for me. You're the sergeant major.
Yeah, don't remind me.
Every chance I get.
I should warn you. Should I perchance fall in battle and you feel the need to partake of the things left behind, he's gonna level the stick he's been carrying, and he's gonna kind of pull it up close to where those indents in the top are. He's gonna flick a little switch on one side, and they're going to pull in, and chains are going to emerge. This is a very dangerous weapon to pick up.
How
It has
how close
Flux's
do you
eyes
do
are just
that?
gonna go wide.
Yeah.
And their hands just kind of slowly before they stop themselves.
Wait, sorry. How close were you when you did that?
He's not close to either of y'all. He's
Okay.
He's at a reasonable distance to where basically the only one who could get hurt is him
Okay.
if he was messing with it.
All right.
This is in fact a chain weapon, and if handled improperly, can cause harm to the user.
Dibs on fixing it. And Flux
Well.
is just gonna look over at Riven.
By all means, I've had enough bullshit chain weaponry for a lifetime.
What are you talking about? Chain weapons are delightful to work with.
Okay. You ever tried shoving a chain? You ever tried shoving the chain from a knife in an axe?
No, that's a new one for me.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sure it
'cause
would have happened eventually, though.
Yes, of course. Of course it would have happened eventually. But that's what I've
Well-
been doing this past half a week. So
You say that like the puzzle isn't worth doing.
I had other things to do. I have a social
Like
life.
what? There's no. Do you? Do
No, no, I don't. At
While,
all.
while this conversation carries on, he flicks the switch back and the chains retract in.
You know I don't.
Well, I am not of a technical mind myself, so if it does require repairs, I would appreciate it from either of you. Although, there should be little damage to the chains, I generally prefer not to use them, unless absolutely required of me.
Fair enough. I look forward to getting my dirty mitts on them.
You know, we
Like,
have
that-
chains back
like-
at base.
They gets like almost half a smile off of him. It's like, I see.
Searaven and Flux is just gonna like smack her on the shoulder again. Chaplains aren't that bad.
Huh. If you wanted chains, we have them. You have chains in your office.
I have more than chains in my office, but we're not ready to have that discussion.
Okay, but you've got chains hanging over your bedpost. Or are those just
Uh-huh.
like your guest chains?
I like to think they're multi-purpose chains.
Yeah, alright, that's fair.
It is my understanding that the teachings of the Omnicide do put great import on utility and versatility.
Exactly. I'm just following the teachings of my religion.
I'd put it.
I've never been made aware of any such words which pertain to speaking about those particular tenets, however.
Well,
But then again, I am not an
Usually-
adherent.
usually it's pretty private, shall we say.
Oh, what? We can't just have these
Mechanicus
conversations
doesn't like
in,
sharing their toys.
can't just have these conversations in, in public company?
Oh, I'm more than happy to.
Right.
I'm just saying most of the Mechanicus generally doesn't like sharing their toys with other people.
Yeah, but neither you nor I are regular Mechanicus.
I'm not a Mechanicus, I got thrown out.
Exactly.
Hmm. It was always my understanding that oftentimes the Mechanicus are products of their particular forge worlds, with little, some universality to the laws of Mars.
In my case, yes. Except I wasn't very good at being a product, so they sent me here.
I see, that is, unfortunate. I would-
My
I
world didn't
will,
really have any run-in with Mechanicus until we did.
Kind of towards Flux, Alois will say. I will allow you to know that you and I are of similar cloth in this way.
Well,
And he
we'll
doesn't
have to
really
share
expand
stories
upon
then.
that. Yeah. He just kind of like nods at that.
It is 7-11.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
It is 7-11.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
I've been waiting for you to wrap up your conversation.
Yeah. I was
that
I
was
was
a place to leave it.
I was gonna
Which is
say
my
something and it
opinion.
was just like, no, let everyone talk.
But yeah, as you come to a close and you instruct Ribbon on heading north, we will call our break there. It's a 30-minute bio break. Grab a drink, something to eat, go to the bathroom, anything you need. and we'll be back.
I
I'm
will
Yeet.
gonna make French bread pizza.
Nice. I have a little bit of music playing. I'm gonna see
I'm
about
gonna pop
food.
out. I'll be back.
Yep, I will be back.
I will continue to pretend to be guy with big stick.
I'm just gonna grab something quickly.
Yeah, same.
And I return.
We returned at the exact same time. Almost.
Yeah, I didn't have to go far. I would have been back sooner, but I got distracted by my cats.
Mm. What is that? Cookies?
Yeah. Hobnobs.
Isn't that a slur or a
Well,
euphemism?
Sort of. Hobnobbing can refer to having a discussion, usually a sort of work-related discussion that's supposed to further certain goals, but generally considered friendly. But then you've also got the inevitable euphemism that came with the fact that many of those meetings ended in sex.
I
But
see.
hobnobs themselves are basically oat cookies with chocolate on one side.
Sick. Kitty. I'm gonna say one of the things that I've noticed with my school schedule is that my Tuesdays are now like super cursed because for a lot of them I'm probably gonna be working a morning shift at my job, leaving straight for the campus to get to a class that's at like 12 through 1, and then I have to stay there until 4 to go to some stupid lab thing for that class. Because I, for whatever reason, are like, hi, we have to see you use the computers in this school instead of using the software that you can on your own computer at home.
Fun.
So it's annoying.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. And I think I know exactly what it's for too. They're probably gonna have me use a statistics software for part of an assignment that I have to do, and it's like, I used that software for an actual statistics class, and they just let me use it on my computer. But then again, I guess that's during COVID, so we couldn't come on to the school. But I don't know. I don't see why they have to waste my time with going to a computer lab there.
Well, I mean, it's an independent class that's assuming everyone coming in has no knowledge of what they're doing.
Yeah, that's understandable. but I feel like there's a reasonable expectation that you have some level of access to a computer, seeing.
Yeah, but they
certain
can't
stanzas.
guarantee that everyone who's taking the class has the working knowledge to learn from home. So they force them to come in so that they can check for certain that they have been taught this thing, and therefore their failure is their own fault. In theory, whether it's actually like that is entirely dependent on how the class is taught.
Yeah. I was actually like reading the syllabus for that same class to make sure I knew what kind of work to be expecting. And yeah, it's really not that difficult. I briefly thought for a second, because of how some of the stuff was worded, that I had to do like I had to go out and do like an actual like research like survey thing with people, which isn't actually the case. It's I just have to observe some variables, then pick something out of the variables and write a report on it in like 3 steps. The first one is like, what's your hypothesis? The second one is, how'd you figure out, what was your method for testing this? And then the third is, you know, the whole report.
Fair.
Honestly, I only have one class I'm looking forward to this on this school year, and that's I took classical Greek to get one of my language credits out of the way. I wanted to do Japanese 1, but I fucked up, I guess, and I registered really late because I had some kind of spook in my head that it was a bad idea to register for shit when I didn't exactly know if I would have the credits I have done right. Basically, I didn't do it because I was planning on if I fucked up my classes themselves.
Well, you live and learn.
True. I'm not missing it a third time. I refuse. Although I probably have to do it like the minute I get the chance to start registering, because I know that it gets filled up fast because weebs, I guess. I guess I am one, but fuck, dude. Weebs are intense.
I mean, in fairness, Japan's tech industry is huge.
Agreed.
So knowing Japanese, if that's a field you want to go into, isn't a terrible idea.
Yeah. These days, knowing Japanese, Chinese, and Korean is probably like a really smart move at this point.
Definitely if you go into like the distribution logistics of sourcing parts for chip and processor manufacturing.
Yeah. Technically speaking, what I'm going for, which is my end goal is a psychiatry, but I have to take some mid steps as NETs, so nursing is the first one for that. So I don't know how much I'd be dealing with it, but I'd rather like have the languages under my belt if things take certain turns demographically.
Fair.
What's going on?
I was just talking about school stuff. You know, I've considered that if somehow I can't get any medical thing going at all, which shouldn't be that shouldn't happen, but if it does, I think I want to like be like a linguist, an interpreter kind of person. I think that's a worthy objective and something I'm interested in, at least.
That will take a really long time, and you'll need to be able to do multiple languages in your undergrad.
Yeah, that makes sense. I actually really like language learning, and from my experience in the times that I have been academically learning languages, I'm really good at it.
I'm kind of upset that
Yeah,
my
dude.
scholarship's running out because I got to take ASL 1 and 2,
Mm.
and there's a 3 and 4, but no more money.
Your boy has federal student loans.
That's fair. I'm doing my best not to do that, and I got
Yeah,
lucky
no.
at an academic.
I actually had Florida medallion for the Bright Futures, but I made mistakes in my freshman year because of COVID, and
Did you appeal it?
by the time I knew and had the chance, it was way long past.
That's fair. That sucks.
Yeah. Best thing I can do now is try and get those grades dropped to help me with my GPA for other stuff later.
Something that I've learned, usually they won't drop a grade. It's still going to contribute to your GPA. But you can fuck up for a semester or two. And as long as you're doing the full, like, 160 credit bachelor's, as long as you get good grades in the rest, you're fine.
Oh, I know. That's because it's for my nursing program thing. I have to have at least a 3.0 to apply, which I think I'm actually technically at right now, but
That's my thing, is like, you shouldn't have a problem with that as long as you don't fuck up further.
I still want to try to get those removed because at least I have the sole benefit of extremely extenuating circumstances. So there's a greater possibility there, and I'd rather at least make the attempt.
You may as well try at any rate.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you never know when
The
you
worst you
might
can do is say no.
accidentally qualify. for
Exactly.
something.
Yeah.
I actually got a scholarship once.
That's the same amount of times as me.
You
But
did
it
well
was-
enough at one point to get a scholarship?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't.
I'm-
When we moved to Spain, the international school we went to demanded we have an IQ test and have it be entered into the database with the
Oh.
British Education Board.
This
And when
is
they
where you
did,
got your fucking Mensa thing.
well, when they did, I got a letter. Well, my parents got a letter from Welbeck Military Academy in the UK saying that I had a free entry if I wanted it. Which we never took because my parents knew that a military academy would be the worst possible fucking decision for me. Until I started, like, shoplifting and being a general pain in the ass, and then they decided, you know what, fuck it, we'll send you to South Africa. Which wasn't a military academy, but it was a really archaic boarding school. Like, I don't know if it's something America really has, because in the 1920s, 30s, 40s or so in Britain, a lot of British wealthy kind of prep schools and finishing schools were firstly segregated by gender, but
Mhm.
secondly, the male ones were also teaching war tactics and machine gun operation and troop deployments because we were anticipating another war.
We don't do that, but I've seen it in like shows and shit. I didn't know that was a real thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they didn't have a true military structure. They weren't that harsh because it was still technically a school, but they emulated a lot of military style military style behaviors, like standing up when a superior enters the area, for example, which was something that was enforced quite harshly in South Africa for some obscure fucking reason.
Mm.
I kept getting punishment detail for just sitting down because I didn't notice someone walk up behind me. But I quickly learned that the prefects of Jagger House intentionally snuck up on people to catch them on that.
Nice. I had heard of things like that, but it was my understanding that if they're here in America, it's like a super recent thing that's there to brainwash for going into the army.
Fair.
Yeah.
My school in South
I mean,
Africa
there
was
is ROTC and stuff.
Yeah, it's ROTC.
But I didn't count that because, like,
I figured
Well,
you had to
the
volunteer
the
for that.
vibe is different.
Yeah.
So South Africa has 2 years mandatory service when you finish school. So it was intended to finish people and present them to the military. I don't think it was very good at it, if I'm being perfectly bloody honest. But it really felt like a boarding school out of a storybook. Like, there were 4 houses that we were all divided into, and they had the fucking Hogwarts trait. Like, it was a thing. I was in Gain House, the plucky, happy-go-lucky motherfuckers who get into a
How'd
lot
you
of
manage
trouble but
that?
do pretty well academically. There was the sporty, aggressive house that was always trying to shit on the others and doing underhanded bullshit. There was the intelligent, nerdy house that kept quiet and generally did their own thing and didn't do great at sports. And then there was the just meh house that everyone kind of just ignored.
Nice.
It was Gain, Wood, Jagger, and Dane, I think.
I knew the house thing was a thing in Europe. Like, that's a thing in a lot of places, from what I've heard.
Oh, it is. But they don't normally have this weird distribution of, like, personality archetype structures that they emulate.
Wait, so how did you get chosen for which thing?
So you take a few tests when you get there, mainly educational aptitude ones, and then they just decide which house you go into, and I was assigned to Gain.
Imagine you being considered happy-go-lucky.
Well, like, Gain was very much the house of people who didn't really fit in with the rules and needed a firm guiding hand, but also weren't really bad people.
Mhm.
At least that's
Once
how we
again.
characterized ourselves.
You might want to re-attempt that.
I think
Right.
I think the process is actually random, and it was entirely the houses themselves imposing these ideals on themselves, which may have been a product of Harry Potter that they applied to the house structure after they added the 4th house, because Gain is the most recent house. The others were, like, created at the founding of the school, but Gain was a new addition because they started getting loads more students.
You'd think, given that your cult would have gone over better.
Yeah, no, they are heavily religious there.
Your thing earlier with the free admission thing, you said we're supposed to. I technically speaking, I shouldn't have got Florida scholarship, the Bright Futures either, because I did flat out lie about the volunteer hour thing.
Good job.
They'll never know, it's fine.
It's true.
As
It
long
did-
as
it-
you have someone sign a thing,
I did.
it
I basically.
works.
Yeah.
Like, over here, there's the
Yes.
same kind of thing. Like, volunteer work is often used as a punishment, but also as an incentive to get into certain classes
Yeah.
and shit. And a lot of these charity groups that accept volunteers don't keep very strict records of who was actually present, just who signed up. So people just regularly apply to do volunteer shit, never show up, and then just use it on their CV.
So I had
just-
some interesting version of this because I was homeschooled. So all of my transcripts even were like technically made up because I didn't do like online anything. So it was just like our state does not handle this well. Like
No,
literally I had to help my mother learn how to do a GPA
You,
for
you,
the classes that I graded because she didn't want to grade them for my entire high school.
Wow. Basically, this was just what me and my dad did. Basically, my dad had this whole convoluted thing of like, if they asked to email this particular email I have of an old boss from my hospital work in Oklahoma, and all it really did is he signed a paper with that person's name, and I listed I think 2 hours over whatever the exact amount I needed for medallion was. And I was just like, here, I had this, sorry, I didn't do it like sooner. Or with the local thing, I only had time in the summer in Oklahoma. And they're like, yeah, that's fine.
So, because of my upbringing, I have done a ton of volunteer work over the years, and the only reason I still don't do volunteer work is because I get paid for it now.
Yeah, with
But I think I might have had 2 or 3 times the amount of hours that I needed by the time I was applying for that. And I forgot the hours that I needed. And the place that I volunteer at, like I said, I work there now. But it's scheduled virtually, and I can look back to the first year I started back in fucking 2015 and find every day that I was scheduled and check the times I was scheduled for. And I went through every day I was scheduled and wrote down each individual date and time.
bruh.
And I brought it and I photoshopped the logo of the place onto the paper and I had it listed and I brought it to my boss and he just drew a line down like 5 pieces of paper, a little arrow to the bottom, and signed his name on the last one.
Nice. Got him.
Because you're supposed to have someone sign them individually for each time.
Well, I mean,
Because it's supposed to be like, oh, I'm going to bring this into you today as I volunteer. Thank you. I will take this home now. He's like, nope, line.
if it worked, it worked.
It worked.
I can't help. With my thing, I remember right after when I found out I lost the scholarship, I couldn't help but feel like I deserved it at the time. Because I lied about that, but that's like, I don't know, that's just fucking defeatist of me at that point. It's just like, why? Why am I sticking on that, dude?
I mean, I'm back and forth on the whole, like, that specific scholarship, because I'm very, very familiar with it. Because I have a lot of friends with it, and I have either that or something similar. So I've had to be the dumbass that because I was homeschooled, I didn't have the whole, like, high school advisor teaching you, like, how to do the prepping for college. Like, I didn't have anything of even, like, how I had to figure out how a GPA worked. But I was also dual enrolling. So when you dual enroll, usually you have a school advisor that helps you. I didn't have a high school advisor, I had my mother. And the dual enrollment advisors at the college I was doing it at had no idea. Not only what they were doing or what I needed to do, but they also didn't understand the rules of dual enrollment. Which means I got away with a ton of shit. So the thing with dual enrollment is you're allowed 9 credit hours a semester. Which generally means 3 classes. That's all well and good until you're me trying to be a engineer and taking those classes as my associates and taking 5 credit courses in upper level math. So there were semesters I was taking like 12 and 14 credit hours of work because I was doing multiple higher level maths. But it was only 3 classes, so they let me sign up for it.
Sick. Man, I should have dual enrolled, but at least I had AP classes, which kind of helped.
Usually dual enrollment, not fucking worth it. The advisors tell you to take classes that are easy to boost your GPA, then you get into fucking college, and then you go over your credit hours, they charge you twice the fucking amount, and you have them going, are you gonna leave yet? Are you gonna leave yet? We're gonna kick you out. And you're like, I didn't have the prerequisites for the classes I needed because they told me this would work, and it doesn't. This is why I don't go to the advisors. I look up all my own shit. I've had to do all of my own course scheduling. Like, advisors have always hated me, and I don't understand why.
I guess I've been lucky, although then again, I only had one advisor, and there's just like, hey, here's the classes you need prerequisites for your nursing thing. Here you go. And then the one I had when I switched, I had to switch my major because I couldn't apply to the nursing school at the normal time. So I couldn't stay in that major technically. So I had to switch to a new one. And this new one is basically so fucking busy, no one can ever speak to them. Because they oversee the entire psychology thing themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds about right.
For all of USF. So they just emailed me, hey, you need this prereq course so you can take basically this whole list of things. Cool? Yeah.
It took me a year and a half to get the school that partners with the school I went and dual enrolled at to accept the honors courses I took at the school that they partner with and transfer people from one honors program directly into the other. If I had taken the normal classes that weren't honors, it would have been fine.
Yikes.
And I did have to take one of them they wouldn't accept, even though they should have accepted it. Because they said they would when I asked about it when I was signing up originally. But shit like that, or like, I was double majoring with engineering and psychology when I moved over.
Mm-hmm.
And I was coming in as an 18-year-old, and they made me do the freshman, like...
Oh,
Yeah.
Hey, did you pay attention in high school classes?
Well, no, they made me do the freshman orientation, which is a 2-day orientation. They walk you around the campus. They talk you through the basics of the major you think you want to be in. Here's how you get into the college of your major. Here's the requirements you're going to need to meet in your first 2 years to get into that. Here's how you study. Like, shit like that. And what they did is they locked down your fucking account so that you couldn't sign up for classes until you went through this stupid orientation, wrote down specifically the like super basic classes to get into the college of your major on the thing, and then had the advisor, the freshman advisor, specifically unlock it so that you could sign up for those specific classes. And I almost got in a fist fight with the advisor because they wanted me to sign up for fucking pre-calculus, and I was already in like fucking discrete structures and they didn't want to let me sign up for it. They went and walked across the campus to the College of Engineering that I had already been accepted into to grab that advisor out of their office and talk to me about how that's too hard of a class for an 18-year-old to take. They sat down next to me and I was like, listen, I didn't show up to my differential equations class except for exams and I got a 98. I think I'll be okay.
Bruh.
And she was like, yeah, let me sign that for you.
What?
I had the opposite problem in school. My teachers were always like, we should get him into the advanced learning classes. I was always like, no, leave me alone. I don't want to do work.
I remember I did it because I was like, when I heard about AP classes, like, holy shit, I can get college credits beforehand? Holy fuck. Yeah, I'll do that. And then it turned out I just had, I did a bunch of them all at once. And I guess I did, most of it was I did 5 AP classes at once.
That's
Which-
insane.
It wasn't. It was actually almost easy. The
It
only
depends
thing,
on who's teaching it. Some places
So-
teach the AP tests, so others make it weird.
yeah, I had the benefit of good. Out of every AP class I took, which I think, 9. I think I had about 10 AP classes. No, it was 7. I had 7 AP classes total because I got. No one told me about them in my freshman year, so I didn't get one. I failed 2, and that was solely because it's my fault. It's micro and macroeconomics, and basically, so the teacher was super
feel that.
laissez-faire. He kind of stood back, and it should have been easy, but I guess I just didn't care. I was like, I don't. Half of this shit is like, so this is easy, and then it gets to the paper and it's like, wait a minute, I completely forgot all this because I stopped paying attention because it was easy.
You got to watch that happen over the course of a semester with me because I had to take macro when I moved over to the university I'm at. Because the college I was at originally that I was doing my 2-year degree didn't make you take that. But I also didn't get the full 2-year degree before graduating high school. So when I transferred over, they didn't accept all of the general education stuff from it
Mm-hmm.
and made me have to, like, that's why I had to appeal a lot of my classes. As if I had just waited a semester, finished 2 more classes, and gotten the, like, 2-year degree, I would have had to take so many fewer classes than I already have.
Yeah.
But it didn't. And, yeah, Hugh had to talk me through macroeconomics, not because I couldn't do it, but because it pissed me off so much I didn't want to do it.
It's just annoying the way it's set up because the number work really isn't that hard. It's just that it's put through a really stupid fucking lens that I have to decipher it out of. And it's like, oh my god, I don't fucking give a shit. I'm not running a nation.
Mine was right-wing prep school, so...
Ooh! Cursed!
Yeah. That's not great.
General statement, the college system is cursed as fuck. Please, why? Let me go, but don't. I need the paper to do the job I want.
There's a lot of things that are fucked in academia, but I actually kind of thrive in academia, and I don't know what that says about me.
I mean, fuck, man. If it works for you, it works for you.
Since we're all back,
Ish.
we will return from our
This
break.
actually does. I gotta go get my pizza. The thing just beeped.
I will
Go
have to in
quickly.
like 2 minutes as well.
Rip.
Pizza
Rip.
takes a long time, man.
Yeah.
Pizza.
Pizza.
I would do the pizza mozzarella meme, but I don't think any of you are that into JoJo's to know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I have only the barest idea of what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Oh, let me actually turn this music off. There we go.
I won't turn my music off, but I am skipping this song. I don't want to listen to that. There we go.
It got mildly more crispy than I wanted.
Side talk, because I just thought about it. Thin crust or thick crust?
It depends.
That's the first time I've ever heard anyone say that. Good job.
Mm,
That's the correct answer, by the way.
no, it's not.
A lot of things are good in the right circumstances. It
Yeah.
depends on how it's done, who made it, and if it's the good kind of whatever it is.
Yeah, that's true. I
Exactly.
guess.
Exactly. I
I
deal with a
totally
lot of
have-
people who are very violently on one side of it.
Hmm.
I don't have as much of an objection to thick crust as I do to pineapple, but
I've had-
Pineapple can jump off a cliff. Other people can like it, and that's fine, but the taste of sweet on pizza, 9 times out of 10, I will flip shit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat
I'm
it if the
definitely, like, definitely thick crust camp for sure. But I have no real excuse because I am from New Jersey, so I should be more into thin crust, and yet I am not.
I'm usually thin crust, but it depends on where it's from.
Mm.
I like it crunchy. That's the end all be all of that.
getting back to the game.
I think Kanuta has to
Yep,
get away.
there
I think
goes
this one
one.
that alarm
It's fine. You all.
Well,
No, it's fine. I'm not in the scene. You all go ahead.
So, the Taurox pulls away. Flux, where are you going?
To the north!
Alright. You head north.
As we go, Flux is going to have sat themselves next to Riven and turn to look at the group. Alright, so how much do we know about what's going on?
I have not been briefed.
You're exempt. I'm quizzing because I forget what I've told the rest of the humans.
Almost nothing, really.
There's a general mix of confused looks from the rest of the squad, and Boulert says, "We haven't been told anything as of yet, Sergeant."
Nualia, listen to me for once. Right. As of Riven, how many hours ago?
Good question.
It'd be about 3 at this point.
Okay. God, this time is so weird in this game.
It
It's
is
about-
hard to keep track of.
Yeah,
I'm trying to keep it as linear as possible.
appreciate it. It's about 3 hours.
As of 3 hours ago, Riven and Nualia happened on a body, and a person standing over said body. And that person was Lucas. The dead body was also Lucas. And Flux is just gonna sit there for a moment and let it sink in.
Yeah, general looks of confusion. Feely says, "How's that possible?"
Atlas would actually probably speak and says, "There's multiple ways. The most common one is gene stealer cults, but this doesn't sound like that to me."
That is an excellent question, and one that I am not qualified to answer. But we're gonna try anyways.
If
I
it is, we
interviewed-
need a lot of flamers.
Good thing we mounted some on the car.
Otherwise, we only have one, and that's with Nualia.
Right, so we interviewed the alive Lucas, and currently Lanewald's watching him. If he is to be believed, there's some interesting discrepancies in the habits of certain individuals in the town. Also, apparently there's a meteor that crashed here 2 to 2.5 months ago. Theoretically, if this is true. I'm having Lanewald check stuff and try and verify, but we are heading to check out if there is a meteor and what the fuck it is, and if there's anything interesting there. Questions?
Feely slowly raises a hand.
Go for it.
What if there's more of them?
Well, that's why y'all were told to trade your info.
A look of realization spreads across his face. Oh, alright.
Not the dawning horror of, oh shit, we might get replaced. No, just, oh, okay, that's what you meant. Feely's adorable.
Yeah.
This is why you don't tell people until you already have the backup plan set.
Yeah?
'Cause then they feel like you had it, like, under control.
Yeah, absolutely.
Frampt waits for a moment to see that the rest of the squad has no other questions and then says, Sergeant Major, what is our protocol on discovering one of these creatures?
Currently, if we can, I'd like to keep them alive and restrained. If not possible, dead. We want to get as much information as we can. Live subjects are best for that. We don't know whether or not the copies know what's going on, if it's intentional. There's a potential it's intentional, especially given the story I was given, but I'm not going to bank on that.
Frampt nods, sits back in his chair. Thank you, Sergeant. No further questions.
Flux will give him a nod and kind of address the wider group. End of the day, there's a lot of shit we don't know, and a lot of assumptions we're acting on. We're trying to gather as much information as we can, keep everyone as safe as we can, stick to the buddy system, call everything you see out. The goal is to take everyone home.
If you do not mind, I would like to give an advisory.
By all means.
During this time, I would recommend you all do your best to stay unwounded. And if you do, make sure to keep it blocked and closed. Should you find that you are face to face with a someone who looks like you, do not let them bite you. Do not let them claw you. If this happens, and it is on a place of which you can remove it quite quickly. Otherwise, you'll have very, very bad issues going down the line.
You've got to make sure that when the thing touches you, you have to cut off the place that it touched you at. Otherwise, all of your cells will be the thing soon.
Yeah, he's. That is the gist.
yeah.
Although the step is a little greater than getting touched.
Yeah.
Nuda's just amused because she made a joke about this being the thing, like, at the beginning
Yeah.
of last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, I love the running gag of the similarities between this and the thing and how to treat it.
A look of concern passes between Nubel, Leisha, and Feely. Brackle kind of stifles a chuckle against her hand.
I think Riven just sighs and says, "Look, as a group, we'll be okay. Thank
Yeah.
you for your advisory, chaplain."
You know, given prior experiences with similar situations, I felt it was necessary.
Well, it's your expertise,
But I
not
do-
mine.
But he will look around everyone and say, I do have a trust in your skills to stay safe in troubling times like these. Believe in yourself and your weapons, and you shall be quite well.
I'm half imagining Brother Ingrace as like the calm Wild West preacher that just wandered into town. Just like, it's okay, folks. God's on our side now. Now follow me to burn the werewolf.
The minute you'll find that it only seems this way because they have to be put in an intense situation very early.
Mm-hmm.
But the minute people actually start figuring out what his sect is about, it'll be different.
Mm-hmm.
Right. End of the day, we've done what we can. Y'all know how to work together, and I trust that you can work together. Do what you know how to do. Help each other out. Besides, this isn't the worst thing we've been up against.
Go ahead and give me a leadership roll, Flux.
Could I have assisted with the advisory and the ensuing believe in yourself and your arms?
That
Little
is shit,
statement.
and I'm gonna roll it.
It's a little better.
I will allow an assist.
No problem.
Hey.
Damn.
Nice.
Nice.
Done.
Yeah, the squad share looks of concern mixed with determination, and ready their weapons, checking their operation, making sure they're loaded and ready,
Bunch of
double
las-
checking the straps on their gear, making sure everything's hanging right and is comfortable.
bunch of las gun
Yeah.
safeties get switched off, and just the telltale hum of them charging up.
You should not switch your safeties off in the middle of the
No, I'm just, I'm just
Doesn't do
imagining.
that.
No, of course, I'm just imagining that the all of that happening is like the Ghostbusters prepping their gear, just flipping the switch.
If we're assuming las guns follow traditional physics, The hum of powering up would be when the capacitors are engaged, not
Mhm.
when the safety is taken off.
Yeah.
Because the safety just stops the mechanism from firing.
Yeah.
Thank
of
you
course.
for being a wet blanket and ruining our cinematic fun.
I was also gonna
No,
say,
that,
I mean,
you can have the cinematic thing of them all clicking on the power cells of their las guns. A collective hum filling the
Yeah.
back of the
Wet
Torok.
blanket.
What were
To
you gonna
add
say,
one-
Avery?
oh no, I was just gonna say, shocking to think of Games Workshop caring about physics.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
at all. Not remotely.
Looking at you, Black Fortresses.
Also, sorry, Nuala, what was the, or Canuta rather, what was the thing that you said a little while ago? I didn't actually hear it, but it moment's probably passed by now, but...
If it was just the joke about the hum in the back of the car, it was just
No, it
like,
was before that, but that's okay.
I think it was me talking about Mason's character just kind of reminds me of he's got kind of a Wild West feel to him sometimes when he talks, but he's not the preacher that's got the gun hidden in his Bible. He's not that kind of a feel. It's a much calmer feel.
I will tell you that there was a point when I considered doing a southern drawl, as the one is, but I decided that would give the wrong impression.
Fair.
This is fair. I promise you if Flux dies, I will come back with a Wild West outlaw.
Mason,
Sick.
Sounds
Mason?
pretty great.
remind
I
me
will even pull out the southern accent for it.
Remind me when we're all done to tell you about my former TV evangelist, Vampire the Masquerade character. He's great.
Oh, God.
No, he's great. He's not what you think he is.
I mean, all right. Real quick to add to the cinematic moment, when everyone's flipping their guns on and whatnot, Atlas does do like a hand gesture, like this.
Flips people off.
No. Just kind of like a line of
Flux gives Riven.
yeah.
Sorry,
The
well-
fuck?
What was it? Because I did not have
No.
cameras on.
Yeah, no. Just look at my screen. It basically goes like this: line across the chest,
Uh-huh.
fingers like this,
Uh-huh.
like this, and then like that.
For those at home, as he says,
Yeah.
Christ,
line
thank
across
Okay.
the chest. No, it's okay. Line across the chest, hand up in the air, and then straight back down.
Two fingers held up. They're pressed together, and the thumb is over the ring finger with the pinky pressed against it.
Yeah.
The squeezed peace sign.
I guess I didn't know that classification.
Go with
Oh,
the
I just
piece
made
of
it
the
up.
emperor.
This-
See, now that's just worse. Now I just look like a plain old fool.
I'm just imagining
I'm
paradise.
sorry.
I'm just imagining Paradise Worlders, just like Emperor's Peace, man.
Hmm.
So,
Why does that not surprise me that that's a thing?
No, it's not.
I'm sorry, I
It's
didn't mean to ruin your thing.
It's fine. You did. No one could see it but you fuckers anyway.
Fair point.
Flux and Ribbon,
Yeah.
since you were at the front of the Torox and have the best view, go ahead and give me awareness rolls.
Alright.
Fuck you, dice.
Could I roll an
Pretty
insight
good.
for my sixth sense? No, I'm kidding.
Hold
He
on,
really
sorry.
is a psyker.
Hey, that's my backup plan. Alright.
My
I also got a
backup,
4.
backup.
Can we just play a hit squad of psychers if we all die in a TPK?
That'd be fun.
The Charlie's Angels of Psychers.
It's 8 o'clock though, so I'm gonna reroll. Nope, never didn't matter. Alright, 4 it is.
Aw.
No, fuck you.
Alright, so heading north, you're met by wide scrubland, very arid, the Cardias blood covering much of the ground, but giving way in patches to large rocky outcrops.
Seriously, I didn't
Narrow
have to waste
gullies.
that. I didn't have to waste that wrath at all. If there's nothing out in the area.
It's difficult to see where an impact crater might be. The land is quite broken up. It's obstructed by cliff faces and rocky outcrops. You'd have to get some high ground to be able to spot this thing.
Hey, Flex, do you know how far north we're supposed to be going here?
Shouldn't be more than checks notes. I'd say about 50 miles?
50 miles.
50 to 100?
Yeah, that's a lot of ground to cover.
Yes.
Huh, okay.
I mean, we go out as far as we can and make a sweep back.
Sure, that works. Don't suppose this thing
Plus,
lands
we
on
might get
a
lucky on
road,
the
huh?
way out.
Maybe.
Alright, the Taurox continues north. As it does, we will return to Nualia, back at the village.
Yep. She's pretty much keeping an eye on the garage.
Yeah. As you do, you see troopers Ennis and Harlan making their way to each house, knocking on the doors, chatting to the inhabitants.
Oh good, now you get to play squad babysitter.
Yeah.
Ennis has been taking notes on a data slate, and Harlan seems to be doing most of the talking. They make their way all around the 4 houses to the south of the road, and then make their way over to you, Nualia.
Okay. Yep. She'll step out.
Harlan gives a jovial wave. Morning, quote unquote, sister.
Morning to you as well, Trooper Anus.
Ennis
Anything?
just a nod and kind of glances around, idly tapping his fingers on the data slate. Harlan gives a nod and kind of gently shoves him aside a little.
She just kind of raises an eyebrow, like, anything to report?
Yeah, as it happens, I've already told the Starge, and she said let you know. The Garrett family, the butchers, their husbands disappeared.
Ah. Alright.
His missus says she woke up in the morning, and he weren't there, which is weird, because apparently she always wakes up before him. Her words.
And no one in the family heard anything or saw anything?
Not that they can recall.
You've checked around the rest of the houses, nobody saw anything? None of our guards saw anything?
Harlan Kerr looks a little sheepish at that, and Ennis just says, "Nah, they wouldn't let us in. Said something about sovereign rights and private property, yada yada yada."
They would not let you into the butcher's house or the other houses?
No, Mrs. Garrett wouldn't let us in. Said she didn't want her kid disturbed and us to rifle through her personal belongings.
Out of character, it was the Bakers who had the child with autism, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright, thank you. Let's see.
Hey, that means Nualia gets to be the bad guy instead of Flux.
Inuali is, thinking...
Bolter Cox.
Inuali is, going to think for a minute, and then she's going to say, "Alright, do you have, further patrols around the around the village?"
The last house on the list is the Stark house. He points at the one across the reservoir from you.
Alright, go check up on them, report back, and then I'll have you watch this building while I go and talk to the Garretts.
2 troopers nod, give you a salute, and make their way over. Only takes them a couple of minutes, and then they wander back.
Yeah. Right. Anything?
Oh, they haven't noticed anything odd.
Do
The
they
only
s-
people who have seen anything that seemed weird was the sister Jessa. She says Garrett was heading out more.
All right. I might go and talk to her first. See if she might know what direction Garrett was going at least. Either way, we are not going to go off chasing for anybody. We need to stay here until the rest of the squads get back. But thank you. Here, you two guard this building. No one goes in or out unless myself or Lanewald approves. If anybody needs anything inside, then feel free to fetch that for them, but do not allow them to look inside.
The two troopers nod. Understood, sister.
And is Packard inside or on the roof?
Packard is on the roof.
That's what I thought. Okay, thank you. So yeah, Noalia will go over and knock on the door of Lucas and Jess's residence.
Yeah. There's a brief pause. You hear footsteps, and the door opens. You see the husband, Franklin, standing at the door wearing a pair of rough trousers, heavy work jacket made of some kind of leather, a button-down shirt. He's putting a cap on as he looks out through the door. Oh, sister, can we help you?
Yes, is Jessa in?
Oh, yes, she is. Jessa, the sororitas would like to speak to you. He steps aside. Jessa walks over from her seat at the table where she appears to have been eating breakfast.
She says, apologies to disturb all of you again. Just had a quick question. You had told Troopers Harlan and Ennis that you had seen Mr. Garrett leaving his home more often. Do you know what direction he was going?
Well, a couple of times I saw him. It depended. The last one, he headed east, I think.
East. Do you
I
have...
did see him go north a couple of times.
Did see him go north a few times. All right. I don't suppose you would have any idea of where he might have been going, of any landmarks or anything like that out in those directions?
She frowns a little. There's a gully out to the northwest. It's a nice spot. Little waterfall down into an underground reservoir. It's pretty, but I can't think why else you'd want to go there. There's a small spring to the west. It's where our herds tend to congregate around this time of year.
All right. It would make sense as the butcher for him to be checking up on the spring at the very least. He might have even noticed some of the herds going to the gully. But yes. All right. Thank you very much, Jessa. I'll let you all get on with your day.
Sure, no problem. Out of curiosity, when can we go back in the garage?
For the foreseeable future, we unfortunately have had to commandeer it, but it shouldn't be for too long. At a guess, I would say not more than a cycle, 2 cycles at most. But
She nods.
as we've said, if there is anything at all that we can get from inside it, then just let let troopers Ennis or Harlan know, and they will get it for you. If I am not there myself. Bless you.
Thank you.
She frowns a little, but she nods. Alright then.
All right then. All of you hopefully have a safe work day and enjoy your days. And yeah, with that, she'll step away.
Alright, yep. The door closes, you hear the bustle and murmur of voices.
Which house is the Garrett's? Is it the one all the way at the bottom?
Yep.
Okay, yep. Yep, she's gonna head down there and knock on the door.
There's a longer pause this time, and the door is only opened part way.
And
You
then,
see a short, mousy-haired woman wearing a heavy, blood-stained leather apron. She kind of peers out around the crack in the door.
I will say that at first Noalia was full suit, helmet on, visor down, whole intimidating 9 yards. But as soon as the door opens, she will actually reach up, undo the helmet, and actually take it off, and smile down at Mrs. Garrett.
Alright, yeah, there's a hiss as the seals release from your helmet. She looks you up and down and says, "Hello, sister. You've heard about my husband?"
I have, yes. Would it be possible for me to come inside and possibly even fix a cup of tea?
She takes a moment, glancing into the room behind her, then slowly nods, opening the door. She turns to the small table in the middle of the kitchen, and a small boy sitting on a chair, maybe 4 or 5 years old. He doesn't seem to be in any kind of distress. He's just kicking his legs on the chair, eating a piece of toast. But she moves over to him and says, "Right, Mikhail, you go to your room now," and gently chivies him through the rear door.
Nualia will step through and give a friendly wave to the boy as he leaves.
He waves back, still chewing on the piece of toast, before the door closes behind him.
Adorable child. Seems like a good one as well.
Mrs. Garrett smiles a little forlornly. "Yes, I haven't told him about..."
Fuck you, Mason.
Wait, what did he do?
Mason was like making the finger guns, like shoot him.
So I thought I was unmuted. I said, "I'm gonna threaten him,"
Okay.
but that works too.
Yep.
She gives a small nod. Says, "Yes, I haven't told him about Samuel yet."
Probably for the best. He may come back before we all know it.
I hope so, but he's never done this before. She pulls a chair out from under the table and says, "Would you like to sit?"
God damn, excuse me.
I have
Give me
infected
a sec.
everyone across the internet.
You
You all
have. Give me just a
Vaccines?
sec.
Welcome to the 5G world, motherfucker.
Don't feed that conspiracy.
Look,
Stupid enough.
Hugh.
I need to
Hugh.
find some joy in this.
Hugh,
Look-
I don't know about you, but I enjoy being able to tune into the airwaves, okay?
You know what? Wouldn't that be badass?
It would!
If they stuck, if I had the option to get stuck, basically, I'm gonna put a chip in you that'll let you act like a human radio.
I'm gonna
You
be
know
able to
damn well I'd take it. Be like,
Uh,
damn, dude.
stream YouTube straight to
I
my
know.
consciousness? Fuck yeah.
Exactly.
See, that'd be cool.
The transceiver would have to be external to your skull. That would be my stipulation.
Fine. Tack it on. Staple it in, motherfucker.
I'll go get the power drill.
Let's go.
Anyway, yeah,
Bring Trepanning back.
yeah, Nualia will actually say, "Actually, do you mind if I make you a cup of tea?"
She looks a little surprised and says, "Very well. The tea is in the cupboard above the sink and the kettle is on the stove."
Thank you. And yeah, she will actually gently take hold of the kettle and the the tea, and we'll set about making a pot of tea.
Fair enough. Not a challenging task, something you've probably done a lot of for the superior sisters in the
Yes.
monastery.
Probably for herself as well. I imagine that that's like one of the few things that they would be able to count as a vice. Just a nice calming cup of tea for all the bullshit they have to deal with every day.
There.
But yeah. And Noelia,
Sits, waits.
yeah, while she's pottering around with that, she says, I had heard that sometimes Mr. Garrett did like to go to a few places. Do you know of anywhere that he liked if he wanted to be alone or anything like that?
She frowns a little. Says, "Oh, no, we shared everything. We always talked. He had been going out more lately, though. Something about the herd. He said he wanted to keep an eye on them.
Well, with the recent troubles, I personally can't say that I blame him with that. It seems like, especially out here with everyone having their own different jobs here, that someone would need to keep an eye on them.
She nods. Not many people who can, and only one can't.
Absolutely. I had heard of... What was it? There was a spring to the east of here that the herds liked to congregate around?
She nods. Spring is a generous word. It's a crack in the ground, the stony bedrock that some muddy water wells out of, but it's the best we can get around here most of the time.
Understandable. I had also heard of a gully with a small waterfall, I believe, to the northwest.
She nods, and you can see a small smile. She doesn't quite meet your eye. Says, yes, that's where Samuel proposed to me.
How romantic. It must have been a wonderful moment.
It's the only really beautiful place around here.
I'm sure that it was and still is.
I hope so. I haven't been back in a while.
Maybe excuse me. Maybe he's simply out there at the gully. Just as I said,
Maybe.
it may be that he might have needed some a little bit of alone time, but I don't think that would be anything personal. Just sometimes people get like that. We all need some space at some point.
She nods a little, then sighs heavily and says, but I didn't hear an engine, and it's too far to walk.
That is fair. I don't suppose that, I don't suppose that there are any other places that you and he shared that you might know of.
She shakes her head a little. No, the only place nearby that he might have some connection to outside of our house. She shrugs. I grew up in the Martin house, and my parents sold it to the Martins. It's the only other place we shared.
Very well. Out of character, the Martin house is which one?
This one,
That one. Okay.
the Bakers.
Ah. And, you said, I believe you had told the other troopers that, when you woke up this morning, he simply wasn't there? You had heard no noise or felt anything, during the night?
She nods. He got into bed with me last night. I dozed off, and when I woke up, the bed sheets were thrown aside and he wasn't there.
It is strange, but... Well, we will keep an eye out for him. I can assure you of that. If anything has happened, we will be sure to try to bring him back in one piece.
She nods slowly, accepting the cup of tea that you have prepared for her.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a small sip.
Noalia will take a cup for herself as well and kind of lean back against the wall.
She says, I just can't think where he would have gone.
It is a bit of a mystery, but as you say, there's honestly not too many places around here. I'm sure we'll find him before long.
I hope so. She takes another sip and lapses into silence.
But thank you for allowing me inside and for speaking with me, Mrs. Garrett. It's much appreciated.
Thank you for your time, sister.
Of course. I'll let some of the others know, and as soon as we can, we'll assemble a few troopers to head out in search.
Thank you.
Of course.
I hope you find him.
We will do our best. And, yeah. With that, she'll set the cup down and head back outside.
Alright. Door closes behind you.
And, she'll put her helmet back on. Let's see. This Fox was the one with the radio array, right? With the Vox array?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. She will, head over to there. Let's see. Is Lanewald there?
Yep.
Okay.
Lanewald is currently standing, arms folded, at the corner of the tent, watching Lucas, while the twins, Risa and Kristoff, both cradle their rifles, sitting on crates or all the fender of the Taurox, keeping an eye on him as he sits on a crate looking a little bit worried.
Yep. Noalia comes in and says, "Hello, Lanewald. Chris, Risa."
Morning,
Hello.
sister.
Hello,
Lanewald
Lucas.
gives you a half-hearted salute. Lucas gives you a small nod and kind of glances at Risa, who gives him a very nasty grin.
Let's see. Noalia will look to Lanewald and say, "Lanewald, can I speak with you for a moment?"
Of course, sister. Risa, Kristoff, keep an eye on our guest. As she makes her way out of the tent, she pauses, turns back. Don't rough him up or anything.
Noalia will also stick her head and be like, "Agreed. Don't antagonize him."
Risa looks askance and offended, throwing a hand up to her chest. The fact that you would even impugn.
Oh my god.
Impugn the honor that you don't have, you mean? She just smiles.
There's honor among thieves, sister.
Is that what they call it?
Risa shrugs and gives you a grin. When it's suitable.
Of course, of course. Then yeah, she'll head back outside, step a little bit a ways, and whisper to Lanewald. The other troopers let you know about the next one. Or the new one, I
Claymore
should
gives you a
say.
nod. Says, yeah, disappeared in the night. Night. Such as it fucking is here.
Yet another one that left attempting to be very quiet, though significantly more successful than Lucas, it seems, so that's a little odd.
Well, if we've got people who can change their shape, how would we even know?
Well, that would be, we have some precautions about that. As for the civilians, we don't. But, hopefully that should change soon. I admit I don't have much in the way of a lead. I did speak to Mrs. Garrett, but, she didn't really have any ideas.
Claymore shrugs. Yeah, I'm not really surprised. Why would she?
Indeed, there's two possibilities. Either she's one of them and knows, or she's completely innocent and has been kept in the dark. I'd much rather not jump the gun on that one.
Claymore nods. That's why I sent Harlan and Ennis to you. Wasn't really sure what to do about this one.
Agreed. Well, as I said, we should have something to help resolve that situation soon enough. As it is at the moment, there are a couple of locations in the general directions that Mr. Garrett was known to go to when he left, when he was spotted, that is. But unfortunately, we need everyone here. We don't exactly have spares to go sending out.
As you finish up this conversation, you hear a crackle and a box broadcast from the Torah.
Yep. Noalia will head in, waving for Laneman to follow.
Yep. Claymore
Lanewald.
climbs in behind you.
Laneman.
Yep. Lame climbs in behind you, and you hear the Vox squawk. Little bird to Niners, do you read?
Yep. Noalia heads on, says, Niners read you, little bird. Copy.
Confirm, Niners. I've got a package to deliver. Mark the area you want it dropped with smoke.
Understood. I will do in just a moment. And, yeah, Noalia looks to Lanewald and says, and that should help. And, yeah, she'll take a smoke grenade. I believe I have one. Yeah, I've still got one smoke grenade. And then, yeah, she'll head... she's gonna get back on the radio and say, Little bird advise, we will be going a distance from the village. We do not want this to be too easily noticed, but it will be south of the village.
Understood, I'll spot it.
And yeah, she'll turn to Lanewald and say, I'm going to take the tank. I don't want to move the Taurox at the moment, so just stay here, stay with Lucas, keep him calm. I'll be back soon.
Claymore gives you a nod. You got it.
And yeah, Noalia will head over to the tank, knock on the door, knock on the back door, open it, duck inside and say, Tank crew, we're moving out. We need to go about 400 meters south of the village.
That face when the whole
Let's-
place explodes.
Start up the
You can
tank,
see,
car bomb.
You can see Lisa's knees in the commander's seat in the turret, and you hear her voice saying, You got it, sister. Might be a bit cramped in here for you, but go ahead and sit on the track fender.
Understood. Thank you. She'll take a seat, just kind of scrunched up in the back. Just the power armor knees in her chest.
Yeah, the tank rumbles into life and carries you off a few hundred meters away.
Nualia will get out of the tank and go 20 meters away from the tank, toss a smoke grenade another 16 meters out.
Alright, yeah. It lands with a clink and then bursts into a cloud of steadily rising smoke. And after about 2 or 3 minutes, you hear, "Eyes on smoke, package away." And within about 5 seconds, you hear a whistling that slowly gets louder.
The orbital drop
Before-
comes in.
Before an object about the size of a footlocker or a coffin, maybe, slams into the ground about 5 feet away from the smoke grenade, burying itself about halfway into the ground with a thud that shakes the earth and a cloud of dust.
All right. Yeah.
Props for the aid.
Yeah. And Nualia will head over and check the package.
Yeah, it's a large, almost torpedo-shaped object, kind of oblong capsule that has a pair of red-painted grip handles at the top end that's unburied. You grab hold of them and give it a firm twist, and with the hiss of depressurization, the cap pops off. You're able to reach inside and pull out a duffel bag that you unzip to find a device that looks somewhat like a handheld Auspex, a large, bulky mechanical object attached to a handle with a digital display and an array of antennas and a great big battery pack attached to the bottom of the grip.
All right. Nualia will take that. She'll get on her own Vox bead and say, "Package received, little bird. Thank you very much for the delivery. Have a safe flight."
Problem, Niners. Emperor be with you. Little bird out.
And then, yeah, with that, she'll head back to the tank and say, "All right, we got what we came for. Let's go."
Yeah. Later guns the engine and they swing round, heading back to the village.
Yep.
Doesn't take you too long to get back.
Yep. Does it look like this has... Is this a thing that has limited charges, or,
The power pack appears to be similar to a guard issue las pack.
Okay, so if it runs out, we can reload it, essentially. Okay.
Yep.
Then, yeah. Nualia will get on the Vox and call Lanewald over again.
Yeah.
And,
She makes her way over to you as the tank pulls up and you climb out.
yeah, Nualia will gesture with the actually will head over to this side of the tank so that she's kind of more hidden from the village. Motion Lanewald over and gesture with the analyzer and say, "All right, let's take the most sensible precautions first." And she actually will take off her gauntlet and I'm assuming it needs like either a blood sample or like a place to inject a needle or something.
Yes, it requires a blood sample.
Yes.
And it does have a needle.
Okay. Yep. She takes off the gauntlet, injects it into her arm, and yeah, waits.
Yeah, there's a quick sting as it draws a sample of blood, and the system begins to whir. It gets quite warm in your hand as data starts scrolling across the screen. And after a while, it gives you a readout of genetic data. Go ahead and give me a Medicaid roll.
Joke's on all of you, Nawalia is secretly 1/24th Eldari.
Has Nualia learned how to read CRISPR?
Let's see. Would this be a check that I get the bonus on? No, I'm not treating a person, so...
No.
Yeah, okay. That's fine, I still have 8 dice. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna re-roll that. There we go.
Yeah,
Alright.
way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. You quickly realize that the system is designed to recognize a catalogued set of genetic diseases and doesn't really have a great deal of identification programming beyond that. You will have to sift through the data yourself and try and separate what is important DNA from junk DNA, which will take you some time.
Wonderful. Fucking wonderful. Inquisition here, folks.
You will be pleased to note, though, that you have no known genetic defects in the database.
Yeah!
Nice.
Yep, Nawalia will take that, explain it all to Lanewald in as best layman's terms as she can. And then she will say to Lanewald, "Alright, if you will please extend your arm."
She shrugs, holds out an arm, sleeves already rolled up.
Yep. She inserts the analyzer and starts working.
Yeah, press it up to her arm, pull the trigger, there's a click and a hiss. Lanewold winces a little. System starts its process, warms up again noticeably in your hands. Lanewold has a few genetic abnormalities. There seems to be a deviation in the gene that regulates body muscle mass and body fat distribution, but nothing that seems life-threatening.
I hate every single thing the Empyrean stands for.
Nawalia is just like, "Oh, well, that explains your strength. Alright then." Just kind of shrugs that off.
She gives you a slight
God, like
frown,
Lane
but
Wald and consider it a
Sure.
defect.
Yeah, of course. Consider it a fucking disease.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'll do another... do I need to make another Medicaid roll here, or have I pretty much figured out what I might be looking for as odd?
the system definitely recognizes human as a catalog for its scanning, but it doesn't seem to be able to pass any information it's not already been programmed with.
Yeah, you as you said, I'll have to go
yeah.
through this myself to try and figure out what the data says, but
Yeah, but the
as-
system seems capable of holding multiple profiles at once.
yeah, okay. And just as I said, from this, I don't need to make another Medicaid roll to be able to tell what it's saying. Okay. Yep. Nawalia will nod and say, "All right, well, that's a breath of relief at least. Glad to know that you're not a Xenos."
Me too, if I'm being honest.
I imagine it would be a shock if you weren't aware of it. Just think, Lanewald, you could have been a gene stealer in our ranks this entire time.
Playing the long game. She nods, gives you a wink.
Alright. I'll start with the tank crew. Let everyone know that I will be coming to them as they do their patrols, but continue what they're doing otherwise. We'll do all the soldiers... We'll get all the soldiers first, and then we'll inspect Lucas. I'll inspect the body before I inspect our guest. And then we will figure out what to do from there.
Lanewold nods, gives you a quick salute. Alright, I'll spread the word.
Much appreciated. And then, yeah, she'll just look up to the tank and just shout out, "All right, Lisa, the rest of you, form up for a moment."
Sorry, who was that to?
To Lisa,
Ah, yeah.
to the tank crew.
Yeah, the tank hatch pops open. And Lisa climbs out and says, "You heard the sister, out you get." And the rest of the crew clamber out.
Out you get. Yeah.
Hello, cat.
Kitty. Yeah, Nualia will look out amongst them and say, "Do any of you have an aversion to needles?"
Lisa frowns a little, shakes her head. The rest of the crew seem Cleft and let me get to the roster. Yeah, Cleft and Sancta shake their heads and both start rolling up their sleeves. But Private Barnes looks at the others a little confusedly, then looks at you and says, "What's a needle?"
Ah, a needle is a long, thin instrument that we insert into your arm to draw blood or other samples.
The things they used when I joined the Militarum to make sure I wouldn't spread disease. Yes.
Yes, those. The things
I
they use
thought
to
you needed
inject
a
the
whole-
vaccines.
I thought you needed a whole ceremony for that.
Sometimes, depending on what it is. For all of the vaccines, yes, there are extra rites that must be observed, but this one will be a fairly simple procedure.
Well, surely if there are rites, you'd be the one to perform them. And he starts rolling up his sleeve.
Yeah. With no hint of irony, Noelle just says, "Indeed," as yeah, probably she actually would be. But yeah, she will just one at a time inspect each of them.
Yep. Barnes' DNA shows significant deviation from the Imperial standard template, but all within tolerable ranges. The rest of them all test pretty much normal. This device appears to have been made on Cardias Rest, as it registers Cleft as a native.
That could be helpful, could be bad. Okay. Out of curiosity, what are some of the quote unquote deviations that it shows for Barnes?
He has several deviations in the genes responsible for facial bone structure, skin pigmentation, hair color.
Oh, just fairly normal stuff that goes along with being born on a different fucking planet. Got it.
Yeah, this is apparently one that the Imperium has not registered in this particular database yet.
That's...
He has that gene that makes cilantro taste like soap.
Yikes. I have that one. I know I do. I got freaking Pokeballs with them, and it ruined the whole thing.
Aww. Yeah. Alright, good news. None of you are hostile shape-shifting aliens. Congratulations.
Lisa looks a little bit confused. Glances at the others. Was that a possibility?
I'm going to be completely honest with you, it was a small one.
Well, fucking glad we ain't then.
Indeed.
General round of nodding and yeah from the others.
Indeed, I am extremely glad that our tank crew are not about to blow us up.
If it's all the same to you, sister, we're gonna climb back inside and lock the hatches.
You know, it just starts laughing and says, "That's probably for the best. Just hands off the triggers."
Don't worry, we won't shoot anything we ain't supposed to.
Not without orders, either way.
Pauses, as though thinking, and then it gives you a kind of, alright, fine, sort of nod.
Thank you. I would rather we not put holes in these buildings because we got a bit jumpy.
Fair do, sister. We'll try and restrain ourselves.
I
She
swear.
very pointedly looks at Barnes, who kind of puts his hand up defensively. I won't shoot anything if I'm not told to.
good. If something does happen, Lacey, I'm coming for you. And she just says, like, half jokingly, like, just pointing at her.
Lacey kind of shrugs defeatedly. The price of command, eh?
That Barnes guy still has Echo Trump's bolter.
Yes, he does.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, Noelia will head back to the garage. She's actually going to inspect the dead body first.
Alright.
How many tank
Yeah.
shells would it take to take a building down?
Depends on the tank shell, I think.
Yeah.
It depends on the tank itself and the tank shells. I imagine if you use something high explosive on these buildings, probably not that many.
True.
As long as you knew where you were shooting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not hard to test the body. You jab the needle in, and the device reads an error. No sample.
That's odd. She's gonna make sure that it actually did draw blood.
There's no blood in the vial.
Do we... Is that jar that, that Riven
I
collected
definitely
blood
collected
in?
some blood.
Yeah, is that jar around?
Ribbon put it in a pack, last I heard.
Yep, you're right.
Noelia looks around. There's not really blood left behind. None that's not heavily mixed with oil, right?
Nope, because I was told to clean up.
No, it was cleaned, yeah.
I did a very thorough job of cleaning.
What's up, Alex?
The other one's there too.
The other one is there. Yes, but I wanted to make sure that this dead body is not the alien first. But okay.
You could stick it if you could actually I don't know if that would work, never mind. I could say if you could get in the bone marrow or maybe just stick it directly in the heart, you might get something out of it.
Yeah.
Some level of remains.
Yeah.
It's
I
only
admit
a couple hours dead, isn't it?
it is a couple hours dead. Yeah. I admit I was thinking of injecting one of the organs if I had to, but
I would say, generally speaking, you would know that the liver is probably one of the most likely places you could get a still liquid sample, as it would take a while for oxygen to initiate coagulation.
yeah, she'll do that. She'll test out the liver.
Yeah,
Give me a Medicaid roll.
Okay. Does this one get the bonus?
No, you're not treating.
I know. Just have to ask. 6, but I'm getting tired of good fucking god, all of the all the fucking complications all the time. I cannot
It
make a
takes
Medicaid roll.
a fair bit of work. About 20 minutes for you to squeeze and dissect organs to gather enough blood to fill the vial. The system whirs into action and reads that the gene print reads as a native. A couple of minor deviations around genes relating to appearance. Couple of signs of maybe a little bit of inbreeding in the history.
Whoa.
I mean, yeah, as tiny as this town is. She's gonna pay special attention to the genes around appearance. What kind of deviations we talking about?
You see that he has the genetic markers for a cleft palate, though he appears to have had surgery for that.
Okay.
But aside from that, there's not a great deal of deviation beyond the expected phenotype variations of the population of the planet.
Okay. Yeah. With that, Noelia will make extra sure to clean the analyzer at that point. And then, yeah, she will individually call soldiers into this building. The ones that are out on patrol around the place, she'll wait until they're like around here, and then she'll call them in. And yeah, one at a time, she will start analyzing each person.
Right. While you are doing that, we will return to the Torok squad. At this point, you have made your way about 40 odd miles north. The terrain is starting to get more rocky and hilly and has a steadily increasing upward incline. You haven't seen any sign of what you might consider a crater or a impact site from the Toroks.
Look, I'm just saying, I don't understand how it's a bar where everybody knows your name. This was some. I don't know why he thought it was something that he thought it was just a thing where you walk in and that's a thing that everybody knows. That seems absolutely ridiculous to me. But, you know, it's Agiltrom. His dumb stories are usually about bars.
Hmm.
Thank you, Kanuta. I'm so glad someone got my stupid joke.
Oh yeah, I fucking loved Cheers. Cheers was a great show.
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck that is.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry, you're old.
It is.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
I do
it's
know
not.
Cheers. I just haven't watched it done.
That's
yeah,
okay.
It's a show from the '90s that also went on Nickelodeon really, really early in the morning.
Oh,
And yeah, it's literally about a bar where everybody knows your name. It's in the theme song.
yes. I imagine with Agiltrom's preternatural ability to understand things from other worlds, that it would have come up in some form.
Yeah.
Anyway,
He does have seem to have extra dimensional knowledge.
yeah.
Just as a joke, Ed, and Atlas would say, perhaps this individual is just that popular.
I don't know. He seemed to think he was.
I find that there's a lot of people like that these days. Although, usually I find them in different circles.
I, for one, am more than happy to be ignored.
Yeah. So, nothing. Doesn't look like anything out here. I mean, how big was this meteor supposed to be?
I don't know. How far out are we?
40 miles.
Yeah. We're about 40 miles.
Right.
I don't suppose we have like any kind of way to detect metal or anything, huh? Kind of metal detector.
Do you have a pair of servo skulls?
We do have servo skulls and a data array. Or that's
Oh,
not
that's
what
right.
it's
This
called.
is our Torox. All right. Who do we take with us? Is Feely with us?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Hey, Feely. Can you can you deploy the boys?
I can plug in.
Hmm. All right. I'm gonna park the Torox for a minute.
Yeah, Flux will get themselves into their little comfy position, lean back so that they can put their entire attention to both skulls. They'll just give the group a grin before they lean back. Wake me up when it's over, kids.
Give me an awareness roll with a +2.
Since when is it not a tech roll?
Well, now you're looking through their eyes to find something. The tech roll was always you interfacing with them.
Still
Six
very
successes.
good.
Yeah. You send the skulls up as high as they can get before they leave the service ceiling of the transmission. They start panning around, looking for any of the likely signs of impact. And after a few minutes of casting about, looking through two pairs of eyes, you see to the east, maybe 30 or 40 miles away, there's a furrow in the ground that doesn't follow the north-south incline of most of the gullies and cracks in the ground. More of a east-westerly direction. And it's surprisingly short. It doesn't quite match the surrounding terrain.
Flux is gonna call the servo skulls back and kind of keep them above us, but to where they can kind of glide over us if we were to ride over in that direction. And then without moving and keeping themselves kind of concentrated, they're just gonna go start driving east.
All right. Switch the Torox back on and start meandering our way over east.
Yeah, you head east. Takes you about 20 odd minutes navigating the rough terrain towards the east.
And
And as you
Flux
draw-
is going to be looking for more details as they get closer.
Yeah. As you draw closer, Flux, you can see the servo skulls have to lift quite high over the Torox to maintain a visual of this furrow in the ground. But as you get closer, you can see that it's shallowest on the western edge and gets drastically deeper as it heads east and appears to have punched through into some kind of underground cavern.
When you get to the furrow, go around it toward farther east.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll come at it and take a loop around in the so we can enter it going west.
Yeah, you come around the end of the deep furrow. It's not hard to spot Riven. You can see there are jagged rocks and almost a shockwave of damage to the surrounding Cardias blood growing around it. And
Is
as
this
you
the kind
pull
of thing I
around
can,
it,
like, drive through, or is it
it's
like
about
how big are we talking?
it's about 3 meters wide, about as
Okay.
wide as your Torox.
Huh.
And as you pull up at the eastern end, you can see a pair of crates sitting beside the lip that drops down into the cavern that whatever this is punched into. And a pair of heavy metal spikes hammered into the ground with ropes dangling into the dark.
Flux is just gonna give a happy grin, still leaning back on the thing, and just slowly raise a hand in the general direction of Frampt. Called it.
He raises an eyebrow, realizes you can't see him, and says, "Called what exactly?"
There was something weird out there. That's like half points.
Yes, about, what was it, 30 miles east of where you were told it was?
It's northward-ish.
So are we going in, or are we waiting for
And
them
with
to
that,
come
their
out?
eyes are open and they're just like hands on their hips, just at him.
Yeah.
Riker raises an eyebrow and says, "If that's your consideration of precision, I can understand why your commander has assigned me to your position."
Ooh, shots fired.
Listen, I'm glad that you're all learned because I can't read. So
Oh,
we're gonna
boy.
work great together.
Oh boy.
I could teach
He
you how to
frowned
read if
for a
you wish.
moment.
No, don't.
He,
Atlas,
he
don't
frowned at you
try.
for a moment, Flux. And it says, "Then I will give you lessons."
I look forward to them.
We start on the 6th hour of every day.
Flux is just gonna turn and give Riven the biggest grin. Riven, I'm learning how to read.
Listen, if you're getting woken up at 6th hour, I'm not staying in your bunk.
As if you were there in the first place.
Oh, you never asked.
I sense I am
Yay.
missing something.
But alas, as the Taurox pulls to a stop, we will leave it there for today. Come
Oh,
back
wait.
next week.
Wait,
I
there's
love Framped calling me out on my shit. This is the best thing ever.
there's just one like small thing I want to do real quick before it ends up. Before everyone gets out of Torix, Atlas, he doesn't address anyone when he does this. This is something he's apparently doing for himself. He reaches into a bag at his side and pulls out a little basically it looks like he has something with a handle that has a cylinder on the end of it with a bunch of inscriptions on it in a language you don't recognize. And on the like flat top of the cylinder is a kind of yellowish goldish engraving of a lightning bolt on it. And he gently gives it a push, and it starts spinning, and he holds a hand up to his side like this for a little bit with his eyes closed. And once it stops spinning, he puts his hand away and puts the thing back in the bag.
Right.
Curiouser and curiouser.
But yeah, we'll return next week to deepen this mystery.
Yeet.
That's a good pun.
Let me.
Okay, here's Flux's game plan. They are more than happy to wake up at 6 in the morning and are absolutely going to lead with, listen, I'm not going to start saying I can read. I can, but I can't. Since we're up, you want to hang out?
Let's
the
see.
pretense.
I am going to send us all on a raid to say hello to Yo-Yo Haley.
Yeah, this is very much I'm willing to suffer for this meme, but since I'm going to dig my heels in, would you like to get to know each other?
So, real quick, before this raid goes off, let's see. Wednesday will be. Let's see, that is not the first. So this Wednesday will be happening. Next Wednesday will be nothing because we are. I am participating in a boycott of Twitch for a day. The day off Twitch to protest Twitch's inaction towards the hate raids. However, for today, we're headed over to Yo-Yo Haley. She's super cool. She's currently playing Skyrim, doing some vampire hunting from the look of it. Let's see. Thursdays, I am actually going to be changing. We're not having D&D. We're taking a big hiatus from that. A bunch of people needed breaks from it. Instead, I'm actually going to be doing readings on Thursday. I'm going to start with some of the books that I have.
Nice.
Yeah. And then this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, Sea of Thieves all day. Both days. Gonna be great.
Rip you.
Say what?
Rip you.
Not at all. I get to be a pirate for 2 days. Anyway, have a good one, everybody. Bye.
Just
Bye.
E.
See ya.